There are 3 easy steps in creating your resume link. Let me show you how.
Step 1. Register. Go to www.jobs180.com using any browser and click Register Now. Fill out all the information needed. In choosing your resume link, use your full name so that it looks professional and it's easy to recall by potential employers. For example, Antonio Juan de la Cruz .jobs180.com. Step 2. Create and design. When creating your resume, make sure to complete your personal information and upload your profile picture. One of the highlights of the resume link is the portfolio section. In the portfolio section, you can show off your skills by uploading samples of your work like documents, pictures, videos, and your social media links.
Your resume link also features different themes and you can upload a cover photo. This is a combination of a cover letter and a social network cover photo. Here is an example. You can also download a copy of your resume link and print it. Step 3. Apply for a job. There are many ways to apply with your resume link.
First is browsing the job recommendations in your Jobs 180 dashboard.
If you're qualified, click Submit Resume Link. So what are you waiting for? Dress up your next generation resume, stand out brightly among the competitive job seekers in the market, and win the heart of your future employers using Resume Link.
Intelligence is the foundation of any good business. But if every good business has it, how do you stand out? Intuition. When enabled by technology, intuition stops feeling like a hunch and starts looking like confidence. The confidence you get when you work with Cognizant, where we engineer every aspect of your business, technology, processes, and experiences to anticipate expectations and act instantly. This is intuition, and we can engineer it.
All right, so good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Jobs180.com's Marketing Me Live with José Rizal University.
Today, we will be joined by speakers from Jobs180.com, Manulife ITDC, and Ernst Young Philippines. But before we start the program, may we invite everyone for the opening prayer, followed by the singing of the national anthem and some following videos from JRU.
Praise God from whom all blessings flow. Praise Him, all creatures here below. Praise Him above the heavenly host. Praise Father, Son, and Holy Ghost.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
All right, so again, welcome everyone. Are you guys ready? And so sana lahat ready na, no? And we
Yeah.
hope you all are. By the way, my name is Joyce. And here with me today is my partner. So we have Miss Nam Marana. So we are from jobs180.com and we will be your today's host. And we are live via Jobs 180 Facebook and Jobs 180 YouTube page, and of course via Rizalian Facebook page. So we hope that everybody is excited to learn new things today. Partner?
To officially start today's session, may we invite Ms. Lorraine R. Parangue, the Director of the Guidance and Testing Office, to give us the opening remarks.
Some of the Rizalianos in the fourth year level
Welcome, Jobs 180. Good afternoon, and also to our resource speakers and other audience who are watching us now. Our webinar today aims to guide you in your first career journey, and that is the internship or the on-the-job training. You are about to open the doors of your career journey, and this webinar is one of the keys. The webinar today will provide a glimpse and guide about mock interview, the expectations of the employer, and what you have to expect in the virtual mock interview. You will also learn another approach in preparing your resume with the help of our partner industry, the Jobs 180. We look forward to this activity that we will breed you become a modern day heroes that you can also uplift your family, your community, and most importantly, yourself. Our education in JRU will help you transform to become a hero. Hashtag José Rizal. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our webinar.
Thank you so much, Miss Lorraine. So thank you so much, ma'am, for gracing the event and joining us today. So we wish to and have more events, collaboration with JRU. And of course, we thank you for trusting again and again Jobs 180 to power your events. And of course, this is just the beginning kasi through this webinar, and the JRU will be having their virtual mock interview. So we hope that through this webinar, ayan, may mapulot kayo, may lesson, may learn na ma-apply nyo sa darating ninyong virtual mock interview. All right. And of course, to our audience, and good afternoon. And so please comment your name, your year, and your course. And if you have questions later on, please type them in so we can answer them after the talk. And the Q&A will happen after each speaker's presentation. So if you have questions for regarding the topic, you have questions for our speakers, so please wag po kayong mayang magtanong. This is your chance to ask. And please do not forget to tag and share this to your friends too. So kung wala pa po sila rito, ayan, tawagan nyo na. Kasi later we will be flashing the um, eval and the attendance link. So those link will serve as your attendance for today's session. Okay? Partner?
Yeah. So, ang schedule natin for today would be, topic number 1 would be job applications using ResumeLink by Jobs 180, followed by the interview preparations by Manulife ITDC, and lastly, expectations for virtual interviews by Ernst Young Philippines. Shout out nga pala to everyone who is here na. A very pleasant afternoon to all of you. Again, please comment your name, year, and course, and as we go along, type in your question so we can read it later. Please, wag may hiyang mag-type ng questions, okay? And this is your chance to know the answers you've been looking for before you face the real adulting and the world of work. So to everyone who's here, medyo mahaba-haba ang ating session for today. Sit back, relax, and let us all hashtag learn together. Without further ado, let's meet our first speaker. So, for our first presenter, he has 20 years of experience in sales, marketing, business development, customer service, operations, business process, and human resources. As a trusted research speaker, he has done over 1,000 career development seminars in more than 400 plus colleges and universities nationwide. Please welcome Mr. Kim Chua, the Managing Director of Jobs180.com. So if Mr. Kim is ready, I'll see you after 20 minutes for the Q&A. Good luck, Sir Kim.
Sir Kim, take it away.
Everyone. Good day to all of you. My name is Kim Chua. Don't forget the wa, baka Kim Chu lang maalala nyo. And I'm here to share to you about the most secure tool for job application. This is how you can market yourself more effectively and the different ways to do that. Okay, so let me start. Now, when you apply, you probably have a checklist if you're using the right tool. So just go along with me if you have the right, if you have the same checklist that I have. So ito yung mga things na like kong tinatandaan, no? Will my tool or will the thing that I'll be using help me to stand out? That's the first item that is very important for me. Kailangan mag-stand out ako kasi dami-dami kong kasabayan kalaban sa pag-apply. Another thing in my checklist is that do I have more than one file? Because oftentimes I have a lot of files. May academic records, may mga government IDs, ang dami mga kailangan hingiin ng mga companies. So I'd like to put them all in one file. And this tool helps me to do that. Okay? Another thing that this tool can do is that it allows me to make the process more efficient. Mas napapabilis yung pag-apply, no? Hindi na napapatagal yung pabalik-balik. So, mas mabilis din syempre tayo maka-move forward. Di ba? And another thing that this tool can do is that wala tong bayad. Mukha lang akong salesman pero libre po ito. Okay? So, this tool is absolutely for free. The most important in my checklist is that this tool, okay, makes my information secured. And I think this is the most important question. Do you want your information to be secured? I hope your answer is yes. Okay? And so with that, let me show you ano tong tool na ito. This tool is called ResumeLink. ResumeLink by definition is the most secured tool for job application. Okay? This is a personalized URL. It is a link that anyone can open online anytime, provided that they know the link. So let me use an example. If you are John Santos, just in case lang, your name is John Santos, your resume link would look something like johnsantos.jobs180.com. Ganun lang kasimple. So how do you make one? Okay, how do you make one? Now, the first step is for you to register. This is absolutely for free. Wala itong bayad. Okay? So what do? You go to www.jobs180.com and that is where you now register. Okay? As you register, you just simply fill out the information. These are the basic information. You have the account details, you have your personal information, you have your education background, and just in case you have your work experience, whether it's OJT or it's part-time job or whatever yung work experience na yan, then you proceed to that work experience page. Pero pag wala, hanggang dyan na lang tayo sa my education information. Okay? After doing so, you now start to create your resume link. So ano ba ang basihan ng resume link? Kadalasan, ang resume link natin, we base it on our name. We base it on our unique name. Okay, so as an example, if you're John Santos, then you say johnsantos.jobs180.com. Now, what about during scenarios where you create your resume link tapos may nauna sa inyo? May ibang John Santos, may kapangalan ka, no, nauna sa inyo. Ano mangyayari? Magkakaroon na red na box. Sasabihin niya, this name has already been taken. Na okay malungkot pag taken na. Okay lang. Maging creative lang kayo ng konti. Pwede mo balik rin. Pwede mo sabihin Santos John. Okay, you can also say Santos J. O kaya J Santos. O kaya JS. Di ba? Or SJ. Depende sa link na gusto mo gawin. Basta importante, wala kang kapareho kahit kayo may kapangalan. Now, another thing I'd like to emphasize here, wag po kayong OA. Pag gumawa kayo ng resume link, huwag mo gagawin tipong nakalagay Cutie Pie, Lover Boy, Barbie doll, di ba? Because it doesn't sound professional. Imagine going to a company and the HR will ask you, do you have a resume? Tapos sasabihin mo sa kanya, meron po, ang resume ko ay eljablo.jobs180.com. Di ba? Baka matakot yung HR sa inyo. So I don't recommend that you do something like that. Just stick to your name. Whatever your name is, it will sound professional. Okay? Now, in creating a resume link, you have to use a valid email. Emails like Yahoo, Gmail, Rocketmail, any email, basta nabubuksan nyo, wag na wag ka lang gagamit ng facebook.com na email. Okay? Do not use something like, example lang patrick@facebook.com na email. Do not use patricia@facebook.com na email. Okay? In short, do not use @facebook.com na email. Because if you use @facebook.com, you will no longer be able to receive notifications being sent to you by the companies as well as jobs180.com. Okay? So use something that you can open. Why is it important for you to open your email? Because you have to verify your account. Okay? Remember, pag nag-verify, yan ang ebidensya na ikaw nag-register talaga. Yan ang proof. Diba? And at the same time, if you verify your account, then you'll be receiving notifications from the companies as well as Jobs180. If you do not verify your account, hindi nyo na po marireceive yung mga notification ng mga companies. So, sayang naman. Diba? Might as well verify your account first. Okay? Now, you're done with the first step. After you verify. So, ano na ang second step? Ang second step is the most logical of all the steps. You have to complete all the information. Very logical. Sino sa inyo mag-apply sa mga kumpanya, bungi-bungi detalye? Sino sa inyo magbibigay ng resume sa mga HR tapos kulang-kulang details nyo? I don't think you'll do that because you're just wasting your time. Instead, kumpletuhin yung information nyo bago kayo mag-submit dun sa mga companies. Okay? So, step 2, complete the information. And how do you do that? Punta kayo ulit dun sa website, www.jobs180.com, and this time, you don't need to register again kasi may account ka na eh. What you need to do is you have to log in. Okay? Now, as you log in, you start to put your registered email or your resume link and then your password na ikaw lang may alam. Okay? Ganun lang siya kasimple. Now, once you're inside your account, you start to fill in the blanks. Ganun lang kasimple. Fill in the blanks. So, the things that you see here, yung mga contents, napakasimple lang. Yung mga personal details nyo, lagay mo dyan. Diba? All the information na sa tingin nyo relevant, you put it there. Now, I have some emphasis lang on items na madalas nami-miss out ito ng mga aplikante. Ano yung mga yon? Sa contact information, you have to put here all the possible ways na pwede kang makontak ng isang HR. Kagaya ng social media handles nyo. Ba't ko nasabi yan? Because in reality is, pag tinatawagan kayo ng mga HR, madalas hindi naman ina-answer eh. Lalo na pag hindi nyo kilala, pag nag-ring yung phone nyo, hala, sino kaya ito? Di ba, hindi mo kilala. Ano gagawin? Hahayaan mo na lang. Di ba? Antayin mo kung may mag-message sa inyo. Eh, paano kung yung HR hindi naman hindi masipag mag-message? Masipag lang siya magtawag. That's why I recommend you put here all the possible means na pwede kang makontak. Kagaya ng social media nyo. Put your Facebook there, yung mga messenger nyo, mga Twitter nyo, iba pang mga paraan, social media handles para mabilis kayo ma-reach out. Diba? Message na lang. Are you available Thursday, 10 a.m., so on and so forth. You get what I'm saying? Diba? So lahat ng paraan, lagay mo dyan. What else do you put here? You also put here yung inyong mga work options. Sa work options naman, you just choose lang, parang yes or no lang yan, parang switch, no? Kung ano yung mga options na gusto ninyo. No, willing to work night shift, willing to relocate, looking for OJT, you can also put it here. Okay? And then in terms of education, obvious naman, yung alma mater nyo, lagay nyo dito. Diba? Yung mga pampakapal ng resume, sa seminars attended, kahit magkopyahan pa kayo ng mga classmates mo, okay lang. Basta lang make sure, alam nyo na pag-usapan doon sa seminar na yon. Pagdating sa certification, ganun din yan. Walang limit sa space yan. Achievements, recommend ko dito is you don't only put yung mga achievement nyo inside the school. Okay? Kasi hindi naman lahat tayo academically inclined. Some of us are not very active sa school, pero active tayo sa mga social civic organization. Diba? So, even if it's outside of the school, you can also put it there. As long as you think it is an achievement, you put it there. Okay? Now, in terms of skills and languages, isa-isahin ko lang yan ha. Sa skills, do not limit your skills dyan lang sa course nyo. Hindi porkat education ng course mo, ang ibig sabihin, ang skills na alam mo lang ay magturo. Hindi porkat accounting ang course mo, ang alam mo lang gawin or ang skills mo ay mag-debit, credit at mag-balance sheet. Diba? So, marami kang alam na iba pa mga skills na kahit walang connect sa course, you can also put it here. Sample, photography, diba? Videography, diba? And all the other things, calligraphy, pwede mo ilagay dyan. Okay? When it comes to languages, I'm sure alam nyo, 2 lengguwahe na at the minimum. You know English and you know Filipino. If you know local dialect, to be specific, lagi mo Tagalog, Sabacano, Bisaya, Kapampangan, 'di ba? Ilonggo, wala naman limit sa space eh. 'Di ba? If you know foreign languages, put it there. Chinese, Japanese, French, Vietnamese, kung ano man 'yan, ilagay nyo. Because what you're doing is you're trying to market yourself more effectively to the prospective company. Now, when it comes to references, sigurado naman ako yung mga references nyo, kilala nyo. Ang tanong lang dyan, kayo ba kilala nila? Kasi madalas pag tinatawagan namin yung mga references nyo, hindi kayo maalala. Yung pinakamalupit dyan, hindi talaga kayo kilala. Okay, so please advise yung mga references nyo na ginawa nyo silang reference para at least they know what to tell about you. Okay? Now, at this point, I'd like to highlight yung mga things that you don't find in a traditional resume. Ano yung mga yan? Diba? Ito yung mga yun. Let me start with the portfolio section. The portfolio section is where you now upload evidence of your skills. And I think with this day and age, dito pumapasok yung efficiency ng ating application sa mga companies. Because oftentimes, when we apply to companies, marami mga hinihingi, mga pre-employment requirements. They will ask for mga documents, mga proof that is showing na yan talaga yung mga skills nyo. So, kung ano man meron yung mga documents, you can now take a picture, you can scan them, and you can upload it here. Example, government IDs. Diba? Meron ka mga transcripts, academic records. Diba? You can put that there. Okay? Kung meron mga medical clearance na kailangan, ganun din. Hindi na kailangan magpabalik-balik sa company. Oh, ayos ba? Oh, ito pa. Diba? But wait, there's more. Ito na yun. Itong isa pang gusto ko i-recommend sa inyo, yung tinatawag natin selfie video. Nowadays, I think it is not very difficult to create a selfie video. Diba? Ito may TikTok nga kayo eh. Diba? Alam mo naman paano gumawa ng selfie video. So I don't need to teach you how to create a selfie video. What I need to share to you na lang is yung anong kailangan sabihin pagka gumawa ka ng selfie video. Okay, this time, what I recommend is you say something interesting about yourself. Okay? So, you pretend that you're being interviewed by the HR. Diba? Ano yung matatanong sa atin? Why should we hire you? Diba? Tell me something about yourself. Why should we consider you among all the other applicants? O, diba? Ang kagandahan ngayon is you create that video for about 1 minute or less. Hindi kailangan sobrang haba. No? Mga 1 minute lang or less. Pero ang maganda rito is na-evaluate na nung HR yung inyong communication skills. If If you can speak in English, then I recommend you speak in straight English. But if you cannot, it's okay as long as you're able to show your personality. You can also showcase here yung mga hard skills nyo. Ano yung mga hard skills? Kagaya ng mga video na panood ko dati, pinakita nila how to use a soldering iron, how to properly handle a welding machine, diba? How to fold table napkins. O, ganun, diba? So, depende kung ano yung mga skills na alam mo at depende kung ano yung nasa field mo rin, diba, na napag-aralan. Diba? So, gusto mo magpakita ka kung paano mag-balance sheet, pwede rin. O, diba? Again, it really depends on what you wanted to show dun sa HR. Ang point is, you don't need to travel back and forth para lang ipakita on the spot dun sa HR yung inyong hard skills. And, most importantly, hindi na kailangan magkaroon ng maraming aberya, maraming istorbo. Diba? Sometimes, when we try to contact you for the phone interview, maingay yung background, hindi marinig, diba? Mahina signal, maingay, ano nangyari, nasa biyahe, diba? Or sometimes hindi magtugma yung schedule. At least with that selfie video, it makes the process now more efficient. Now, another good thing pa with the ResumeLink is that you also upload here your profile picture. When it comes to profile picture, you don't need to go to the studio para magpa-picture. Huwag ka na gumastos. Ang importante lang dyan, tumingin ka sa camera, okay, with plain background, at of course, magbihis ka naman ng maayos, diba? And then, you're good to go. Huwag mo gagawin yung mga nasa right side ng screen niyo. Those samples that I'm showing you, it doesn't look professional. Imagine, di ba, yung mga selfie, mga nilagay ng avatar, yan, huwag nyo gawin yan. Okay? Huwag nyo gawin yan. It doesn't look nice, doesn't look professional. Okay? Now, another good thing pa with the ResumeLink is that meron tayong tinatawag na cover photo. Ayan, pasintabi sa matatamaan. May iba sa inyo nakikinig ngayon, hindi naman kayo gifted with writing skills. Some of us are having a difficult time expressing our thoughts and feelings into words. So ano pwede mo gawin? You can now use those pictures to represent your personality or to showcase yung inyong skills. Example, look at the one on the left, yung nasa baba. Ano kaya siya? Sabi ni iba, sir, ophthalmologist, optometrist, or eye expert. Yung nasa kanan, yung nasa taas, ano kaya siya? Sabi ni iba, sir, para siyang admin or clerical work. Or maybe makalat kasi tingnan mo yung lamesa ang kalat-kalat. O, diba? Again, it depends on the interpretation of the person looking at it. This is an example of someone into HR or maybe into psychology. And this one is an example, it's a very good example, by the way, of someone who wanted to say that there is no shortcut to success. Hindi po yan miyembro na Akit Bahay Gang. Okay? Ang gusto niya sabihin, you will be able to reach yung goal mo by taking one step at a time. Oh, di ba? You get what I'm saying now. So I'm showing you good examples para you can draw inspiration from. And I will also show you not so good examples. Ito yung wag niyong gagayahin. Huwag kayong magpapaka-misteryoso. Okay? Maglagay ka ng picture mo dyan. Lalaki man, babae in between, okay lang. Ilagay mo dyan. Member man tayo ng LGBTQ+, okay lang. You put it there. At least alam ng HR who to expect. A lot of times, yung mga pangalan kasi very interchangeable nowadays. Ako mismo, guilty ako dyan. My name is Kim. A lot of people think, babae ako. Di ba? Pag iba nababasa kong mga resume, ano nakalagay sa resume nila? Chris. Nakalagay George, Alex, Sam, Nick. O, diba? Joey. I would assume lalaki. Yun pala, babae. O, diba? So that's why you better make sure you put your picture there. And wag naman pugot yung ulo nyo pag nilagay ng picture. Dapat kompleto. Okay? Never leave this blank because if you leave this blank, it will not catch the HR's attention. Trust me. Kung ikaw ang HR, wala ka namang ibang makita dyan, malamang mangyayari dito, next applicant na. Okay? And then if you want to catch the HR's attention, do not create something like this. This is just my opinion. I don't think this looks professional kasi ang dating parang tamad, parang happy-go-lucky, no? Parang chill-chill, walang pakialam sa buhay. Again, that is just my interpretation. Okay? So I showed you the good and not so good examples para you'll be guided. Now, you can just play along later on kung anong sa tingin nyo mas bagay sa inyong background or sa inyong sa gusto niyo ipakita sa personality niyo. Okay? Now, let's examine a very good example. Look at this person, itong eye expert. Bakit maganda itong example ng kanyang resume link? Because all the information you're seeing here, kompleto na. Diba? Hindi ka na magpabalik-balik eh. Kung ikaw yung HR, everything that you need to ask or you want to know about the applicant, you already find it here. If you're the applicant, you might as well put everything there para wag mo na antayin pa yung time na hihingin pa sa'yo ng HR yung mga documents yan. Baka hindi na mangyari yun. Baka may ibang aplikante na mas assertive, nilagay lahat ng mga information na i-process na siya kaagad. Diba? Now, at this point, I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, sir, okay nga tong resume link. Kaso lang, baka naman yung information ko nakakalat na sa buong mundo. Baka naman nakalantad na sa buong internet. Ang sagot ay, hindi. Kaya nga tinawag na the most secure tool for your job application. Diba? Bakit? Because you control your privacy settings. Ikaw mismo, as an account user or as a resume link owner, ikaw ang may control ng privacy settings mo. And how will that happen? When you log into your dashboard, as you can see in my screen, when you log into your dashboard, you will find the resume link settings. Pagpunta mo sa settings, mapuntahan mo yung privacy settings at doon ka mamili ngayon ng information you want to show or hide in public. So let me use an example. If you don't want to show your birthday, what do? You turn it off. You don't want to show your references, you turn it off. You don't want to show your address, what do? Turn it off. Diba? So yung mga information na in-off mo, hindi lalabas sa public. Now, if ever lang you decide to change your mind, ang maganda dito sa ResumeLink, updated yan, real time. As in real time. So 5 minutes later, you want to share your birthday, turn it on. What happens? Lahat ng mayroong alam ng ResumeLink mo, alam na niya yung birthday mo. Diba? If 2 days later, you want to share your address, you turn it on, you save your profile, lahat ng may alam ng ResumeLink mo, alam na rin yung inyong address. You get what I'm saying? Diba? So, depende na sa inyo kung ano gusto mo i-on or i-off. If you want to turn off everything, then okay lang. You can just turn off the button. Enable public ResumeLink, off. Wala nang lalabas sa public. Kahit na anong information. Okay? So, yan ang re-remind ko sa inyo. This, the second step is for you to complete the information, and in doing so, please make sure that your profile is interesting, diba? Yung information mo kompleto at updated ang details nyo para mabilis kayo makontak ng mga HR. Now, we go to the last step. Pangatlo na, last step na to. The last step is for you to submit. Now, how will you submit your resume link to those companies? You might be thinking you want to explore opportunities outside of the Philippines. Maybe you want to join some job fairs later on. You want to apply online. You want to, marami, walk-ins, diba? Depende kung ano kasi bumabalik na yung face-to-face ngayon. So, lahat ng mga ipapakita ko sa inyo, lahat ito, practical application. Lahat yan, makaka-relate kayo. Ano yung first one? The first one is you go online. Of course. Diba? Yan ang fastest way. You just connect via your phone, via kung ano man gadget mo, go to jobs180.com, search for companies. And by the way, speaking of search, you can only search for company, tatlo lang pwede mo i-search ha. Search for company name, position title, and location. Doon sa search bar, hindi mo pwede ma-search ang resume link. So example lang, ikaw si John Santos, okay? Okay, ikaw si, ako na lang, Kim, halimbawa lang, subukan mo pumunta sa jobs180.com, doon sa search bar, type mo doon Kim. Tingnan mo kung may lumabas. Malamang sa malamang, walang lalabas. Unless may company name, position title, or location na may word na Kim. Other than that, walang lalabas dyan. Kasi hindi siya searchable. So, the only time a company would be able to know your information is if and when you give your exact resume link to that company. So, ikaw may control. Ayos? So, tuloy natin. Okay, tuloy natin. So, if you're going to search for companies, what do? Just go to the website of jobs180.com, search for companies. Kung may lumabas, edi meron. Pag walang lumabas, edi wala. Diba? Ganun lang yan. Huwag natin pilitin magkaroon ng something kung wala talaga. Diba? Okay, so ano gagawin? Tingnan mo yung mga companies. Kung meron kang type, edi gawin nyo, check nyo yung opportunities. After that, you now submit your information to that company. Okay, when you submit your information to the company, it will ask for your profile, for your resume link and password. So ikaw lang magbibigay ng consent dun sa company. Okay? Now another option is for you to send resumes via email. Now there's nothing wrong in sending resumes through email. Ang tanong dito is, how are you sending your resumes through email? Do you do it like this? Do you say, "Dear HR manager, I'd like to apply for the following position. This is my resume." Tapos mag-attach ka ng Word file, PDF file, or whatever file you have. If you're doing those attachments pa, ang tawag dyan, traditional, pampabagal, makaluma. Hindi ko sinabing mali. Ang sabi ko lang, traditional, pampabagal, makaluma. Bakit? Hindi mo kailangan mag-attach anything anymore. If you're going to write an email and send your resume, just simply type your resume link there. "Dear HR manager, I would like to apply for the following position. This is my resume. In this example, Antonio Juan de la Cruz, jobs180.com, send. Tapos na. Ganun lang kabilis. Diba? Whatever changes you need to do, you put it inside your resume link. You don't have to keep on sending another attachment. Paano kung imagine mo na lang, nag-attach ka ng Word file. Diba? Ng PDF file. Tapos nagpalit ka ng address, nagpalit ka ng phone number. Ano gagawin mo? Email mo na naman yung HR. "Dear HR manager, I'm sending you my updated resume." Ganun ba? Paano kung 2 months later, lumipat ka ng bahay, iba na address mo, send ka ulit ng bagong resume? "Dear HR manager, I'm sending you my updated, most recent resume." I don't think you'll do that. Kasi kung ganun ang ginagawa mo, sayang sa oras yan, nakakapagod sa part mo, lalong-lalo naman sa part ng HR, mas nakakapagod to keep track kung saan dyan yung pinaka-updated na attachment or pinaka-updated na resume ng aplikante. And this time around, if you have your resume link, all you need to do is just update your resume link at lahat na may alam ng resume link mo, makikita nila yung pinaka real-time update ng profile or information. Ayos ba? Ayos ba? Sige, another one. For those who wanted to use a hard copy, gusto mo talaga may hard copy ka, when you apply to those companies, you want to give something, then this is also possible. What do? You go to your dashboard inside your job seeker account, then you can print your resume link. Mamili ka lang, 1 column or 2 column version. Either way, the system will try to compress everything into 1 page. O di ba? Maginhawa sa buhay. So kung gusto mo talaga mag-apply sa mga kumpanya, hindi mo na kailangan mag-prepare ng maraming mga pages. Minsan, di ba, yung mga aplikante, mga 2-3 pages ang isang set ng resume. Palibasa, yung font size 45. Kaya umaabot ng 2-3 pages. O di ba? Pero this time, the system will try to compress everything na into 1 page. Just in case you really want to have a hard copy. O di ba? Tipid. Okay? Another thing pa for me to encourage you to do is you use ResumeLink cards. ResumeLink cards. Ano tong ResumeLink card? Kung sa mga nagtatrabaho na, ang tawag namin business card. Sa mga nag-a-apply, tawag dyan, ResumeLink card. So in one piece of paper, whether short bond or long bond paper, you can now design it your own way. You can design it depende kung ano ang gusto mo, pagiging creativity mo. Ikaw bahala. You can make 10, 20 sets of cards. Depende sa laki or liit. Diba? Kasi laki ng index card or kasi liit lang ng mga normal business cards natin. Diba? So depende. So maybe in one long bond paper, you can make 10, 20 sets of cards na. And so after you have it printed out, pwede ka na ngayon maggupit-gupit. Gupit-gupit na lang. Diba? 10 or 20. Bawat kumpanya, you can now start to give that as a hard copy. Hard copy pa rin naman yan eh. But this time, why am I encouraging you to use ResumeLink cards instead of the traditional long bond or short bond paper? Bakit? Una-una, tipid. Diba? Because of course, right now, eto, tipid. Kasi if you're going to apply to 20 companies, you don't need to print 20 sets of long bond papers. You just need to print one long bond paper and cut 20 small pieces of ResumeLink cards. O, diba? That's for the cost side. Tipid na. Pangalawa, at mas importante, security of information. Diba? You want to have peace of mind. Paano ko nasabi yan? Kapag ikaw yung nagbigay sa isang kumpanya ng long bond paper or short bond paper, example lang, no? It's a traditional resume. And for some reason, nilipad ng hangin. Okay? Nilipad ng hangin. Hindi mo kasalanan. Kasalanan ng hangin eh. Diba? May nakapulot na stranger. All your information, alam na nung stranger. Tama? And you cannot deny it because you know what I'm saying is true. Diba? Hindi mo kilala pero alam niya yung details mo. Now, using your ResumeLink card, same scenario. Nagbigay ka ng ResumeLink card sa company, nilipad ng hangin ngayon. May na stranger na nakapulot, okay lang. Bakit? Kampante ka. Kasi yung ResumeLink, ikaw may control ng privacy settings mo. That's why, in your ResumeLink card, what I recommend, you just simply put your name and your ResumeLink. Dalawa lang. That's it. If you want to put your mobile number, it's okay. It's up to you. You can put it there. Diba? Pero ang point ko is, ResumeLink, pwede na siya makita ng mga HR or mga companies na bibigyan mo. Diba? So you have peace of mind now. Okay? So there's a lot of advantages using ResumeLinks. In fact, doon pa lang sa privacy portion, panalong-panalo ka na. Ikaw ang may control ng privacy settings mo real time. Pagdating sa speed of hire, it becomes faster and more efficient because whatever you want to show the HR, you just attach it there. Whatever the HR needs from you, they just ask from you. Diba? You take a picture, you scan them, upload it there, and later on, pag okay na, you now turn off yung privacy settings mo. Diba? Or you can remove them in the attachments. Diba? Cost efficient, definitely wala tong gastos, tipid. Diba? If you're thinking, ay sir, paano po yung internet? Kailangan ng pang-load. Pwede ka maging resourceful. Connect lang tayo sa mga libreng wifi. O, diba? And then, pagdating sa flexibility, if you really want to have it printed out, yung inyong resume, you also have the option to print it out. That's like how I showed it to you, 1 column or 2 column version. Either way, it's really up to you. Pero ang point ko is, ResumeLink na lahat yan. Okay? And you can use this to any platform, whatever platform you want to share it to. You want to share it sa mga messenger nyo, you want to share it sa email, sa Viber, sa text, di ba? Gusto mo, kaya ko bahala. Di ba? Gusto mo, sulat mo sa papel, tapos gawa ka ng airplane, palipad mo, di ba? May nakakuha, alam niya yung ResumeLink mo. Ikaw bahala. Okay? Ikaw may control kung sino ang gusto mo bigyan. Okay? You don't have to use your USBs anymore. You don't have to save it sa hard drive. Baka mawala pa yung USB nyo. Delikado. Diba? Wag na. Baka kung ano pa makita ng mga nakakapulot ng mga USB na yan. Okay? So you don't need to worry about compatibility as well because this is compatible to any platform. If you're using Android, you're using Safari, kung ano magamit mo, pwede yan sa kahit anong version. Okay? And so, just to promote lang, if you want to be part of our team, we're also hiring. Mismo sa jobs180.com, we're hiring for several opportunities, several vacancies yan. Check out na lang yung aming jobs180.com/jobs180 na page. Okay? And by the grace of God, shout out lang ako, right now we have more than 400 plus colleges and university partners nationwide from north all the way to the south of the Philippines. Thank you, Lord. O, diba? Ang kinalat namin, hindi lang virus. Biro lang. Kinalat namin ResumeLink. Yan ang kinalat natin. So, a lot of schools now, including your alma mater, are now using the ResumeLink. So, I hope it doesn't stop here. No, you become a blessing to others as well. If you have friends, you have yung mga relatives mo na sa tingin mo kailangan nitong tool na ito, you can share it to them. Wala namang bayad eh, libre naman yan. Okay? And so, as we close this portion, I'd like to discuss some of the frequently asked questions. Baka ito yung mga agam nyo or ito yung mga questions na gusto nyo tanungin. Sagutin ko na muna. Okay? Unang tanong, can I give my resume links to companies who do not know about jobs180.com? The answer is absolutely yes. Basta alam nila eksaktong link mo at ikaw may control, sino bibigyan mo nun? Ikaw lang ang magbibigay, diba? So ikaw lang may alam sino binigyan mo. Okay? Now, second question, is it the same as other job platform kagaya ng JobStreet, LinkedIn, or any other job site? The answer is no. May dalawang pagkakaiba. And let me use an example here. Let me do a shout out to JobStreet, no? Because I think you guys know what JobStreet is. So shout out lang to them sa mga nasa JobStreet. If you're using JobStreet na resume, you can only apply to companies who are using JobStreet. If you're applying to a company who is not using JobStreet, you cannot use your JobStreet resume anymore. Pero pag gamit mo yung resume link mo, pwede mo yung gamitin kahit na saan, kahit na kanino, kahit na anong platform. Diba? Basta alam ng HR yung eksaktong link mo at ikaw magbibigay nun. That's the first difference. Second difference, if you have already submitted your JobStreet resume to an HR, you cannot change anything anymore. Well, you can on your end, but it will not be reflected on the HR. Hindi siya magiging real-time update. Comparing it to resume link ni Jobs 180, you can update it real-time. 2 days later, 5 minutes later, 6 weeks later, ikaw bahala, anytime nag-update ka ng information, lahat na in-update mo, dagdag bawas, will be reflected real-time across all na may alam ng resume link mo. Okay? So those are the two major differences. Now, pagdating sa pangatlong question, yan ang pinaka-simpleng tanong. Can I keep my information secured? I hope by this time na-convince ko na kayo na ito na ang pinaka-secured na job application platform. Okay? So, use your resume link. Number 4 question, I think is the most important question. How often should you update your resume link? The answer is every time. Every time na meron kang babaguhin. Okay? Every time na meron kang babaguhin. Lalong-lalo na yung contact details mo. Kasi imagine, binago mo lahat. Binago mo yung work experience mo, nagkaroon ka ng awards, nagkaroon ng achievement, hindi ka naman makontak ng HR. Wala rin, di ba? Sayang din. That's why you have to update yung contact details nyo. Okay? And the last question is just a trivia. Trivia lang, palaisipan. Why is this called jobs180.com? This is called jobs180.com because we want to turn your life around 180 degrees. And in case you're wondering, no, you wanted to raise a concern, bakit hindi po 360? Kasi pag 360 degrees, you only go back to where you started. Ikot ka lang na ikot, wala kang pupuntahan. 'Di ba? Bumabalik ka lang kung saan ka galing. Oh, ha? O, di ba? Char lang yan. Okay? So, anyways, again, kung meron pa kayo ibang questions, just in case you have questions, okay, you may send those questions here through our website, www.jobs180.com. You can also email us or email me here sa info@jobs180.com. You can like us on Facebook, also on Twitter, Instagram, pati na rin sa TikTok. Okay? So, check us out on all our social media platform. Okay? Again, my name is Kim Chua. Don't forget the wa. Okay? Isang magandang araw po sa inyo lahat. Thank you.
All right. So thank you so much, Sir Kim. So we have Sir Kim on screen.
Hi, Sir Kim.
Hello.
So let's
Hi.
just wait for Sir Kim.
Hi, Sir
Ayan.
Kim.
Can you hear
Thank
me?
you
Good
so
afternoon,
much.
Sir Kim.
Hi, Sir Kim. So, we have a question po about for this one. So, how to follow up questions from the company without being too pushy?
How to follow up without being too pushy. So what you do, I recommend you ask first to set your expectation as to how many days or how many weeks should you be following up. Yun yung kailangan natin tanungin. Kasi when the company tells you, we'll just let you know. We'll just give you feedback. Pag ganun yung mga bitawan ng mga HR, syempre bubusi na lang ako, no? Pag ganun yung mga HR, medyo open-ended eh. Mahirap yung ganyan, di ba? Gusto mo, ayaw mo naman na tipong, you'll call me after a week, a month, a year. O, di ba? Callback pa rin naman yun eh. So, kung ako yung aplikante, I'll be practical. I'll just ask naman, of course, politely. I'll be asking, would you be able to when is the best time for me to uh, give you a follow up, pwedeng ganyan, or the other way around, you might want to ask na lang, how long po yung recruitment process ninyo para I can, more or less, I can set my expectations. Para kung hindi ako nakarinig, example, sabi ni HR, I'll give you a call in 2 weeks time. 2 weeks time na, hindi pa rin tumatawag. So, medyo maasahan ko na sarili ko. Malalaman ko na ay, mukhang malabo na to. Diba? I can move on. I can manage with my time. So, yun. I hope I was able to answer that question.
Okay. So, are there questions from the audiences? Just comment down your questions, and Sir Kim is here to answer it for you. So for the next question, Sir Kim, some company nagre-require po ng cover letter. So how do you do the format, and ano lang po yung ilalagay na content?
So the good thing with our resume link is that the cover letter portion is already part of the resume link. After the cover photo, there's a portion there where you can put your objective. Recommend ko naman dun sa cover letter, you just put there yung purpose mo, why you're applying for that company. You might want to cite a little summary of your background, why you would like to present yourself and be considered by that company. So, wag na masyadong mahabang kwento, no? Hindi na yung kailangan um I'm more the practical side eh. Kasi ako, as an HR, I always believe that all applicants are potentially qualified. No? Potentially qualified. Lahat yan. It's a matter of timing lang. Sometimes may aplikante overqualified, sometimes may aplikante underqualified. Diba? So, yung when applicants are giving their are putting their best foot forward, because I've been an applicant, 'di ba? Several times nag-apply din ako sa kumpanya. Ang tendency ng applicant is they put their best foot forward. So it's all the talk, di ba? So totoo lang, it's all the talk eh. So when you talk the talk and you don't walk your talk, malalaman naman din to ng company pag nandiyan na eh, pagka na-hire ka na eh. So what's the point in keeping that interview process really, really long? Unless it's part of the company process that I have to go through, then I do that. Pero in by practice, kung pwede ko paiksiin, kung kaya ko na siya gawan ng dalawang interview lang, isang initial interview, tapos pag okay, I'll recommend na to the next level, tas job offer na. 'Di ba? Para magkaalaman na, hire na kaagad. Ayun. So for me, the cover letter is just really part of what you for people who are good with words, so they can use cover letter to express yung portion nila. For those who are not good with words, they can use the cover photo to at least put their images. That's the message they want to send to the HR. They can use images. For those who are both not good with words and not good with images, um, dyan na pumapasok yung mga, siguro yung sa resume link, yung straightforward facts, in data. You put the evidence that you want to show, 'di ba? So hindi ka naman maka-express na academically inclined ka, magaling ka sa academics, pero you can attach documents which shows talagang ano ka, straight A student ka. O, di ba? So, yun yung mga things that you can do, which is very flexible when you use the resume link. Yan.
Thank
All
you
right. So
so much, Sir Kim.
thank you so much, Sir Kim. And again, we are opening the floor for questions. So to JRU, to Resilience, we highly encourage you guys to ask questions po. And directly sa ating speakers, especially you will be having your virtual mock interviews again next week na yan on August 2022. So if you have questions regarding that and session, now is the right time to ask Sir Kim. Ayan. So since ayan, isa sa mga expert natin pagdating dyan. So, Sir Kim, we have a question here. Ayan. So, may mga speakers tayo narinig about thoughts of putting social media po sa kanilang resumes. So, may mga hati, may mga iba yung kanilang paniniwala about putting social media links pagdating sa resume. So, for Jobs 180 po, or for user Kim. So, your thoughts po about including social media profiles in online resumes.
Ako, para sa akin, lahat yan tools yan eh. Tools to support your claim. Diba? Kung wala naman social media before, ano mong ginagawa? Diba? Attachment. Attachment ng portfolio. Attachment ng mga document. So, social media is just another avenue for you to showcase yung i-highlight mo lang yung mga other skills mo, mga stuff mo, yung mga career development activities mo, you put it there. So anything that you think will be able to help you, then you do that. Now, for those people who doesn't believe naman na, because their social media is really for, not for work related, then do not do that. Huwag mo lalagay dyan yung mga tipong kasama mo, mga katropa mo. Di ba? Na kung saan kayo gumigimik at yun yung malaman ng social media. You don't use that as a reference just to say that you are outgoing. Di ba? You are friendly. Di ba? Alam mo naman, gets yun mo sinasabi ko. Di ba? Kung ano yung kailangan para mas ma-highlight mo yung skills mo, yan yung gawin nyo. Diyan mo ilagay. Ayan. Okay?
Alright.
In terms of school of thought, whichever is more flexible, the good thing with ResumeLink is that it can accommodate. Kung anong gusto mong i-attach dyan, pwede i-accommodate ng ResumeLink. Pwede. Ayan. Oh, by the way, I know there's the next speaker is already waiting na. Promote ko lang, no? You guys are preparing for your virtual interview, for your virtual mock interview in the coming days. So please make sure you have your ResumeLink ready. We have other speakers that we have invited to talk about interview tips as well as for what to expect sa isang virtual interview. Paalala ko lang, I know I'm jumping ahead. I just want to remind all the Rizalians who will be attending the virtual mock interview to please make sure you complete your resume link and you give that to the company pag kayo ay nagpunta doon sa interview room, sa breakout room, sa later on. Pagpunta niyo sa activity natin. Alright? Ayun lang.
And Sir Kim, may question pa tayo pahabol. So, one last question. So, from Miss Sophia, Irish Purpose. So, if you send a resume link to companies upon application, do they need to sign up to Jobs 180 or will they be directed to our resume?
If you give your resume link to the company, will they be redirected? Okay.
Yes.
Kung tama pag-intindi ko, during the mock interview, you just have to put it sa chat. 'Di ba sa Zoom, sa platform, meron chat portion. You just put your resume link there. Tell the HR, "Hi HR, good afternoon. I'm here for the mock interview. This is my resume link." Type it there. They will just have to click on it. They click on it or they copy and paste that on a browser. They get to see your profile. Di ba? Ganun lang, ganun kabilis. Now, if you're considering applying to that company na, as in real application, hindi na to for mock interview, then all you need to do is just go to jobs180.com and then check out that company. Then what you do with that company, halimbawa nakita mo Manulife, no? Manulife ITDC, o kaya gusto mo mag-apply sa Ernst Young, sa EYGDS, nakita mo yung company, nakita mo yung position. Click on the position, submit your resume link. That's it. They will be able to process na for full-time application na yan. Now, if you want to email them, like what I've said in my presentation earlier, you can just send an email with your resume link. So, lahat ng convenience nasa part mo as a job seeker. Diba? Ngayon, sa totoo lang, very convenient na siya. Super convenient. So, it's a matter of how you will be using it na lang to your advantage. So, I hope you maximize the tool. Okay? Ayun na.
Ayun pa, sir.
Thank you
One
so
last
much.
question. One last
Okay,
question,
okay.
sir. Ayan, so from Miss Juves of JRU, so pag naka-off and public po yung settings, makikita pa rin po ba yan ng HR?
Pag naka-off ang settings mo, lahat nilagay mo, do not show anything, sa public view, wala silang makikita. So kahit binigay mo yung resume link mo sa isang HR, tapos nilagay mo doon, do not show my address, do not show my references, do not show my picture, basically do not show anything, walang silbi yun. Walang makita yung binigyan mo ng resume link. That's why I'd like to remind everyone, the purpose of this resume link is really to your advantage. Ikaw may control. Sino yung information, ano yung gusto mo ipakita or itago. Tapos ang maganda dyan, real time. So I recommend, come your virtual mock interview, you show everything first. Pakita mo muna lahat. Diba? Total, you're doing that activity. Diba? So after you do that, that's the time you now set up your privacy settings para lang kung meron kayong gustong itago or ayaw nyo ipakita totally lahat ng information, tsaka nyo na lang i-edit. Okay? I hope na-answer ko yung tanong.
Yes, thank you so much, Sir Kim. So, partner, do you have questions pa for Sir Kim?
None na, partner. So, thank you so much, Sir Kim, for joining us
Okay,
today.
thank
So,
you.
ingat
Bye-bye.
po, Sir Kim, sa
Have a
biyahe.
good
We
day.
wish to have you again on our next set of webinars. And guys, you may visit jobs180.com to find out more on job applications and resume link. Thank you, Sir Kim.
Bye.
All right. Thank you so much, Sir Kim. So, guys, if you still have questions regarding resume link, you may send us a message sa aming Facebook Messenger. So, jobs180.com, Facebook/jobs180.com. Okay, so moving on to our next topic. So, to introduce our next speaker, partner.
For our second presenter, he graduated BS Industrial Psychology in Eulogio Amang Rodriguez Institute of Science and Technology. He has almost 9 years experience in HR talent acquisition and started as an intern for one of the largest BPO in the country and worked his way up as a recruitment supervisor. Now, he works as a talent acquisition consultant in Manulife IT delivery while studying law in PUP. Please welcome Mr. Patrick Stevens, the HR recruitment specialist from Manulife ITDC.
Good afternoon, job seekers. Good afternoon, JRU heavy bombers.
Hi, Sir
It's good to
Patrick.
have.
Good afternoon.
Yep,
Good
yep.
afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Hello, guys.
Good
Hi.
afternoon.
Sir Patrick, if you're ready,
Yep.
I think your screen is up now.
Okay, I'll share my screen.
We'll see you after 20 minutes, Sir Patrick. Good luck po and enjoy po for this one.
Yes, sure. Thank you very much, Joyce and um, Nam. Hi, job seekers. So, hi, my name is Pat. Good afternoon to you guys. So, I'm just here to share a lot of things, especially that you guys have a mock interview that is coming. So, first of all, I would like to introduce first our company. Um, as we all know, Manulife is an insurance company, but little that we know that Manulife has an IT delivery center here in the Philippines already. So, Manulife IT Delivery Center. So it started 2019, established as a fintech arm of Manulife. We are all over. We are around 1,800 employees all over Philippines, China, Vietnam, and Hong Kong already. So the clients that we serve right now, all the way across Asia, from North America, Cambodia, Taiwan, and North America, which is Canada. So the services that we are offering right now is obviously this would be for IT. Um, we have engineering, SW engineering, quality engineering, business analysts, architecture, agile, project management, infrastructure, UI, UX, and security engineering. So these are the services that Manulife IT Delivery Center is focusing right now. So as you know, Manulife is a big financial company, insurance company, and now we have a branch for IT Delivery Center. Yeah. And then what we have here is our summary of employee benefits. We are offering competitive compensation package, which includes a 14-month pay. We have paid leaves, medical insurance, obviously, group life insurance, annual performance bonus, global share ownership plan, which is your stocks. We are giving away privileges then if you want to invest in stocks. We also have that. We also have employee assistance program, and what we want to showcase here is we also have retirement plans. So if you want to um, stay long in the company, definitely we can help you out and return back the services that you guys rendered in the company for Manulife. Okay, and then these are our regular events. So we have monthly town halls and recognitions. We have hackathon is just a mini competition for IT folks that so that they can showcase their skills. We have lunch and learn and summer outing. As you all know, as you can see on the screen, we have a lot of employee engagements from Mobile Legends tournament. Yan, mahilig tayo dyan, especially for the generation right now. We have movie night, anniversary celebration, and summer outing. So these are the perks that you will receive once you be an employee for Manulife IT. Okay. Now, let's move on to the interview tips. Okay. So, guys, I know that you guys will be doing your mock interview this coming day, no? So, I just really want to share how will you prepare? What are the things that you need to focus at in preparing for your interview? Okay. So, let's start off with number one. Obviously, guys, number one would be research the company. Understand the company's background, mission, and vision so that you will have um, an overview if the company is in line with your values in life. Yan. It will be very helpful. Makakatulong sa atin yan so that umpisa pa lang malalaman na natin if the company is in line with the things that we are do inside and outside of the industry or outside of the workplace. So, second, really familiarize with their products, services, and recent achievements. Like for example, in Manulife IT, you need to familiarize ano bang ginagawa ni Manulife IT. Hindi pala siya insurance lang. We have Manulife has an IT delivery center na. So definitely, if you know the products of the company, you will have an overview if it's in line to the skills that you have, of the skills that you want to develop and all. So third would be learn about the company culture to see if it is in line with your values and goals. Just to share, Manulife IT Delivery Center promotes work-life balance. So yan yung mga simpleng bagay na kailangan nating alamin if the company culture fits in you. Okay? Um, if the company promotes work-life balance, you can work at the same time enjoy your time with family. Definitely it will help you to become a better employee and a better person inside and outside of the company. Okay? So yan, yung number one natin, which is research about the company. So once you've researched about the company, okay na, nalaman nyo na kung anong type of company to, ano yung products, and culture niya. Next would be the preparation for the interview itself. Okay? So prepare well for your interview. Review the job description and identify the key skills and qualifications. So a lot of us, especially nung bago pala akong job seeker, ang tendency natin is just to um, apply sa kahit anong job openings. And there's nothing wrong with that. But what we need to make sure is we need to review the job description of that specific opportunity so that it won't be a waste of time for us. Let's say for example, yung skill mo is for IT. Obviously, it would be better if you focus on the opportunities that is in line with IT or the skills that you have. Okay? So review the job descriptions. Every job postings um, has job descriptions in it. Sa job posting, looking for software engineer or kung ano man, meron yan job description sa baba. You need to review it so that okay, ito pala yung job description pala is in line to the skills that I have right now. Okay? Yan. So practice common interview questions and craft thoughtful responses. Okay. How will you practice common interview questions? We have the internet right now. We have a lot of channels where you can find interview tutorials, interview tips and whatnot, no? YouTube University, yun nga yung tawag ko. YouTube is for free. Use it. Okay? From there, if you practice your common interview questions, definitely you can build your confidence. Yun yung pinaka-importante, guys. Job seekers, no? If you build your confidence during the interview, it will help you in selling yourself better. Okay? So, once you've built your confidence by doing practice, now, in answering the questions, what you need to use is the STAR method. So, ito yung pinaka-importante sa lahat and this is very helpful for us job seekers, no? Use the STAR method. What is the STAR method? STAR method it stands for situation, task, action, and result. Okay. So, especially if you don't have any experience yet, kapag tinanong ka ng mga interviewer, if ever there would be a situational question or behavioral question, might as well create create your answer in a structured way. So, situation. For example, you were asked for a question na about how were you able to handle a specific task that you did in your school. Yan, especially you don't have any experience yet, no? Mahirap magkwento, lalo na't wala ka pa masyadong experience. Use a specific experience that you were able to encounter na, no, during your school. Yan. Ano ba yung situation na yon na binigay sa inyo? Okay? What was the task? What was your task for that situation? So, like, for example, a professor needed to ask me to do a film review for a specific movie. So while the professor feeds the asks the question, now you think of a situation already and what was your task. Okay? Ano ba yung kailangan ko gawin? Si prof nagpaano ng film review. Then ang dami ko pang quizzes, ang dami ko pang exams I need to review and I need to do that, okay? So creating a structured answer from a situation, ano yung situation muna, then the task itself, what is the task to be done, and then what was your action for it, okay? So once you have the action for it, and then you say the result. Okay, so let's break it down, no? For example, you needed to do a film review, and then your task is to do that within 3 days. Okay. But upon within the 3 days, you still have a lot on your plate. Especially you have quizzes, examination, other projects. Okay. So what was your action? Obviously, the action would be I prioritize what needed to be done first. Okay. So ginawa mo muna to, inayos mo muna yan, ginawa ko muna yung quiz ko para matapos, para makapag-focus ako in the film review. Okay? And what was the result? The result was I was able to submit and I was able to um, I was able to submit the film review and I was able to finish all the tasks that I needed to do. Okay? Tandaan nyo to lagi. Past behavior predicts future behavior. Okay? Mas madaling magkwento if the experience if your answer is basing on your own experience rather than creating a situational action that you were not able to do. Okay? Mas madaling magkwento kapag na-experience mo na, ginawa mo yung isang bagay, ito yung mga task na ginawa mo, and the result was good. So, in answering these questions, in answering in a STAR method structured answer, it will help you in showcasing the skills. And the past behavior that you did will predict the future behavior, especially kapag mailalagay ka na in that specific role or position. Okay? So, always remember the STAR method. It will be very, very helpful in answering a specific questions during an interview. Okay? Ayan. So, next slide would be dress professionally. Okay. So, a lot of interviews right now, we are doing virtual, we are doing face-to-face, no? But at the end of the day, we still need to dress professionally. As you can see here, I just really want to highlight the dress professionally because we can always dress formal, we can always dress comfortably, but it will be better if we dress professionally. Dress in an appropriate attire for the company culture and industry. Let's say, for example, ang ina-applyan nyo ay for managerial post or for entry level, let's say for you guys job seekers na first time mag-a-apply. Obviously, the safest would be polo shirt, polo, long sleeves. Hindi ka naman pwedeng mag-formal and suit and tie during an interview, no? Magiging overdress ka na doon. So, what you need to do is dress appropriately and make sure that it is in line with the company's culture and industry. Aim for a polished and well-groomed appearance to make a positive impression. Pay attention to details like clean shoes and minimal accessories. Yung mga simpleng bagay na need natin na ayusin or linisin or gawin, might as well do it, no? There's no harm in preparing for that. Let's say, for example, you need to polish your shoes first. There's nothing wrong with that. Kasi nga, yung what we really want to achieve is the positive impression. Okay, inayos niya nagplansya siya ng maayos ng polo, naglinis siya ng sapatos. Those kind of simple gestures will have an impression, okay, this candidate really prepared for this interview. And by doing that, we are also building confidence in ourselves. Okay, nag-ready talaga ako for this interview, for this opportunity. Yung mga simpleng bagay na ito gagawin ko para pagdating ko at pagharap ko sa interviewer, well groomed ako, well prepared, and it will give a positive impression sa interviewer. Okay? So that's number 3, dress professionally. Okay? Number 4, master your body language. Ito, um, like I always say, no, what we need to do is build confidence. So if you master your body language, paano natin i-master yan? Maintain good eye contact to show confidence and engagement. Okay? So, in maintaining good eye contact and during an interview, it shows confidence and engagement. Parang nakikinig ka talaga sa kanila. Okay? How will you practice this? Obviously, you can start by facing in front of a mirror, yan, or dun sa mga cellphone nyo, while doing, imbis na TikTok muna, mag-practice muna kayo ng interview, kung paano makikipag-usap sa mga interviewers, yan. So what we really need to do is just really build confidence. Ngayon, some of us nahihiya tumingin sa mata. My tip there is always look between their eyebrows. Yan. Kung nahihiya kayo sa mata, look here, dyan, sa gitna ng eyebrows, so that you will be engaged pa rin. Okay? Kung nahihiya kayo, naiilang kayo sa tumingin sa mata ng nag-i-interview sa'yo, might as well look here. O yan, dyan sa gitna ng mata, so that makita na engaged kayo while the interview is talking. Okay? Offer a firm handshake and a warm smile upon meeting the interviewer. Yan. Basic yan. Pagpasok nyo na interview, or kung nasa harap kayo ng virtual, you don't need to offer a handshake. Just a gesture, hi, hello, that will do. Okay? Importante dyan, you initiated an action that would engage the interviewer. Okay? Third would be sit upright, avoid fidgeting, and use open gestures to appear approachable. Okay? During a face-to-face interview, kung nakayuko kayo and naka-cross yung arms nyo, definitely it shows that you are holding back and you don't have any confidence. Okay? Now, if you sit upright, hands on your hands in front of you, and then you have gestures and you have open gestures, it will show na you have that confidence in meeting or in talking to the interviewer. Okay? So make sure that you master your body language. Practice makes perfect, no? We don't need perfect, but what we need to do here is we build confidence. In achieving confidence, definitely you will show that you'll be perfect in engaging during an interview. Okay? Yan. So, fifth would be follow up for an interview. Okay, what would be the right action to an HR or an interviewer right after an interview? First would be send a thank you email to an interview within 48 hours. There's no harm in sending a thank you email, especially if you want to highlight yung mga napag-usapan nyo during an interview. There's no harm with that. Mas maganda nga nag-send kayo ng thank you email for the opportunity, for the lesson, for the things that you've learned, and for the things that you've talked about during the interview. Express gratitude for opportunities and reiterate your interest in the position. Yan. So, in doing this, makita yung solid engagement nyo in the during the interview and for the opportunity itself. Okay? And then, if you reiterate your interest in the position, that only means that you were able to listen. Ano ba yung position na ina-applyan nyo? So, that if na i-reiterate nyo yun, may may bonus yan sa interviewers. Okay? Mention specific points from the interview to show your attentiveness. Okay, you need to mention specific points. Let's say, for example, I was able, for example, I really like what you've shared to me, sir, that the role will be fit for me because yan, ito yun na yung ginagawa ko. I was doing this already in my previous work, or based on my experience, I was able to learn already a specific skill during my college life. Then I want to um, showcase that skill inside the company and help your team in doing the work done. Okay? So, there's nothing wrong in following up for an interview. Okay? Okay. So, that's it, guys. I hope I was able to share very, very focused tips in doing your interviews. Please visit our resume link at jobs180.com, and you can also follow us in LinkedIn. Thank you very much for your attentions. If you have any questions, just let me know. And um, if you have friends or relatives, if you are interested to opportunity for Manulife IT Delivery Center, we are currently hiring right now. Just send in your CVs to Patrick_C_Stevens@manulife.com. Thank you very much.
All right. So thank you so much, Sir Patrick. So again, to Rizalian, we are now opening the floor for questions. So if you have questions regarding the topic, so please feel free to post your questions in the comment section, and we'll try to read all your questions. So while waiting for questions, Sir Patrick, we have here on screen my partner Nam to ask you a few questions.
Oh,
Sure.
so Sir Patrick, how do you say po na you think you are perfect for the job you are applying for without sounding too overconfident?
Okay. So without sounding too overconfident, what you need to showcase lang talaga is the skills that you already have. Basic skills that you already have. If you ever you don't have any experiences, showcase the skills that you have. Because by showcasing the skills that you have, you're just telling the truth and the basic things that you really need to sell during an interview. Okay? I was able to do this specific skill already. I have this. I know how to use Microsoft Excel because I've learned that during college, and then I've studied Microsoft Excel short courses in the internet. So, yung mga basic questions, ay yung mga basic skills that you have, yun yung i-showcase mo. Kasi yun yung kailangan mong sabihin sa interviewer mo in selling yourself. Yan.
Thank you so much, sir. So, we have a question from our viewer. So, from Miss Sophia Irish Corpus, how can we show confidence naman po if the interview is through phone call?
All right, thank you very much for that question. Magaling 'yan, no? Kasi a lot of us yan ang first step of an interview during phone calls lang, no? Okay. How will you show confidence? Number one, practice ka muna. Practice ka muna magsalita. Practice ka muna sumagot. Practice ka muna. Like I mentioned a while ago, if you were able to practice, okay? You'll have that confidence kasi alam mo na kung ano yung sasabihin mo. Hindi ka nakakabahan kasi kaya lang naman tayo kinakabahan because the fear of the unknown, yun eh. Hindi natin alam kung ano yung sasabihin natin, 'di ba? If you don't if you we don't know what to say, definitely kakabahan ka, and it will manifest during the phone interview. Manginginig yung boses mo, magsa-stutter ka because number one, hindi ka nag-practice. Okay? Hindi mo alam yung sasabihin mo, definitely it would resonate through your voice. Yan. So, By practicing, building that confidence through practice, kahit phone interview pa yan, tuloy-tuloy yung salita mo dyan, magiging confident ka kasi nga, nag-practice ka. Yan.
Okay.
All right.
Nice.
Follow-up question, sir, sa question ni Miss Sophia.
Yeah, sure.
Since it's through phone call, will we know if the interviewee is, ayan, so memorized yung answers or reading notes?
Yeah, okay. So, I'm not a fan of memorizing, no? If we memorize, we tend to forget. Okay? Yun yung kalaban ng memorization. Kapag minemorize mo yan, makakalimutan mo, minemorize mo lang eh. But if ever you know it by heart, okay? You know it by heart, alam mo yung sinasabi mo, you don't need to memorize. Let's say, pinapakilala mo lang yung sarili mo, you're introducing yourself, you don't need to memorize specific lines, no? Ikaw yan eh. You build your confidence already. Alam mo kung paano ikwento kung sino ka at paano mo ibebenta yung sarili mo. Okay? So, I'm not a fan of memorization because we tend to forget. But what we need to do is just practice and build confidence because once we build confidence, we don't need to memorize na. Tayo na mismo yung sarili na natin mismo magsasabi kung sino tayo and kung ano yung pwede nating i-showcase na skill natin.
All right. So
Thank you
thank you
so
so much for answering my questions, Sir Patrick. Ayan. So we have you from the audience, Miss Nam.
Okay. Next question po, sir. This is from Maya DQ, a viewer from YouTube. So, question po, sir. What are the factors that would make you reject an applicant?
Okay, so medyo technical yan, no? We don't fail an applicant just because ayaw natin. Hindi yun. Mali yung stigma na yan. A lot of people would say na, hindi kasi ako gusto ng HR, no? No. Just so you know, once binigyan kami ng specific role na i-hire, dapat alam namin kung ano yung mga skills na kailangan doon. Okay? Now, during an interview, yun yung hahanapin natin sa mga candidates natin. Let's say, for example, office administrator. Yan. Office secretary. Yan. Office secretary needs to have the skill of kailangan marunong mag-Microsoft Word, marunong mag-Microsoft Excel, and marunong mag-PowerPoint. Now, if a candidate gets into the interview, ngayon tinanong natin siya, dung skills na yon, marunong ka bang um, Microsoft Word, Excel, and PowerPoint? Sasabihin mo no, but I'm willing to learn. Obviously, that would be a factor na for you not to be prioritized for that opportunity. Now, ang technique ko dyan is, if you don't have the experience yet, make it till you break it, no? Alam mo yan. Alam na, sino ba bang hindi marunong mag-Microsoft Word? 'Di ba? During college, yan na yung ginagawa natin. Gumawa ng essay sa Microsoft Word, gumawa ng PowerPoint presentation, showcase it. Yan yung magpapa plus in selling yourself during an interview. Yan. So, yung factors na yan, hindi basta-basta lang nire-reject. Kailangan maibenta mo yung need na skill na meron ka. Kaya that's the reason why I mentioned a while ago, know the job description. 'Di ba? If you know the job description, ito pala yung kailangan dun sa role na to. Kailangan marunong mag-Excel. Marunong ka mag-Excel. Yun yung showcase mo. Pero yun nga, mahihirapan ka kung say, yung job na to, kailangan marunong sa Excel, but at the end of the day, hindi mo pala alam kung paano mag-Excel. 'Di ba? So, yun yung factors na pwede kang ilis prayo during an interview.
Yun. I hope, Maya, na-answer ni Sir Patrick ang question mo. Sir, another question po from Jez Alec Ocampo. How can you confidently still sell yourself as a fresh graduate when most companies look for experience? Ito, as a fresh graduate, na experience ko rin to eh. So,
Yes, yes. A lot of us experienced that during my job seeking days, no? Paano ko nga naman ibebenta yung sarili ko if I don't have any experience yet? Okay? Like I mentioned a while ago, focus on the things that you were able to do already. Okay? Ano yung mga ginawa mong task during um, your college? Yung college life natin, yan yung parang pinaka-training ground natin eh in building up experience while while we prepare ourselves for the real job, 'di ba? So, make sure that you sell the points. Sell points na nag-excel ka during your college life or during kunwari office administration essay writing contest. I-showcase mo 'yun. Ibig sabihin, yung role pala na kailangan nila kailangan magaling mag-create ng essay. Obviously, hindi na nila kailangan yung may experience kasi ikaw as yourself, you have that experience already. Na nag-type ka, naggumawa ka ng essay and all, you can confidently sell yourself to the things that you were able to do already rather than selling yourself na hindi mo pa nagagawa. Focus on the things that you were able to do. And from there, you'll have that confidence in really um, pinpointing the things that you are good of. Yan.
yun. I hope na-answer ni Sir Patrick, no? Kasi I was worried then when I graduated then. So, next question po.
Tama.
Wait,
Kasi
let's
na
show
natin
it.
pag-usapan yung fresh graduate days. Parang matagal na for Sir Patrick and me yung job seeking days namin na yan. So, hindi
Ah,
na kami makarelate. Ayan, so thank you so much for answering. So, we have last question, sir, from Sir Vincent Bonifacio. Miss Nam?
so, are there any instances po, Sir Patrick, that the interviewer will ask unusual on-the-spot questions which we do not practice or expect to be questioned? And how should we handle it well, especially po if the question is something unrelated yet tricky for us job seekers?
Alright. To be honest, always expect unusual questions. Okay? To prepare yourself, 'di ba? Yun nga yung building confidence. Isipin niyo na agad na may itatanong yan na hindi niyo pre-practice. Hindi yan laging yun yung tanong. Tell me something about yourself, share me something ganyan. Hindi yan lagi yun yung tanong. Okay? Like for me, I do not ask that question already. I go straight to the point kung ano yung mga nagawa mo. So, um, to answer the question really is to prepare well. Build that confidence, no? In building that confidence, it will help you to answer those kind of questions na hindi mo alam or hindi mo pinanaktis. Just make sure that when you answer it, use the STAR method, okay? STAR method or be true to yourself. Wag mo nang pilitin yung mga hindi mo talaga alam sagutin. Just make sure that you be true to yourself and true to your answer so that it won't have a negative feedback while you answer it. Kasi nga hindi mo pala napagdaanan yun, nagpalabok ka. Yun yung term namin eh. Madami ka na masyadong palabok, yun pala hindi ka na straight to the point dun sa question. So make sure that you just be true to yourself, be confident, and always expect unusual on the spot questions. Expect nyo na para onset pa lang ready na kayo.
Sir Pat, what if you really do not know the answer to the questions? Can we say I don't know, or can we skip the question and get back to it once alam mo na yung answer?
Yeah, safest would be yung let me get back you with that. 'Di ba? Safest
That's
yun.
possible po pala.
Pwede yun. Kasi nga, in being honest, there's nothing wrong with that. Okay?
Mhm.
Especially kung di mo talaga alam eh. Kasi pagka masyado mong pinilit at masyado mong binola yung interviewer, definitely alam na yan. And baka makaapekto pa yun na, di niya talaga alam to. Baka magkaroon pa ng negative feedback, di ba? Might as well be honest. Um, pero kung kaya naman sagutin hit it with your best shot, 'di ba? But if not talaga, na blanco ka na and all, be honest na lang.
All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for answering my question. Ayan. So that's it, sir. So thank you so much for answering all our questions. So since we are time bound, we cannot accommodate all your questions po for our second speaker. But wag po kayong malungkot kasi we still have another speaker left. So we still have one left speaker. So we will ask your questions pa. So thank you so much, Sir Patrick, for answering all our questions,
Thank
and thank you for
you.
sharing
Thank you,
Thank
your
you,
time
guys.
again
sir.
and your experience,
Thank you.
sir. And we wish to have you on our next set of webinars. Thank you so much, Sir Patrick.
Thank
Miss
you.
Nam.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Wag na sana kabahan yung mga students natin for their mock interview next week, and I hope they'll get ready then for it. So thank you again, Sir Patrick.
Ay,
And for
before I forget, partner. So
mm,
if you're interested to apply, ayan, at MITDC, you may visit their link. So the link is www.jobs180.com/MITDC. You may check it out. And nakikita niyo po, nag-run sa screen niyo yung link. So you may visit again, www.jobs180.com/MITDC, and you can submit your resume link. So thank you. So let's proceed, Nam, Miss Nam.
okay. Thank you, Miss Joyce. And for our third speaker, yeah, he has over 18 years of experience in supporting the learning and development needs of organizations across level. Prior to joining EY, he worked with GP Strategies as the leadership and management training manager for East Asia. He has also worked with HSBC Global Service Centers, partnering with various senior leaders in 7 countries to drive leadership development. Has a Bachelor of Science degree in Psychology from Ateneo de Manila University. He is also a certified facilitator for Situational Leadership 2 program from the Ken Blancard companies as well as the Myers-Briggs Type Educator from CCP. So, he is also a certified instructor for track of social style and versatility. Please welcome Mr. Al Dennis D. Supetran, a talent development assistant director from Ernst and Young, Philippines.
Hello, hello. Thank you so much for having me again. And, hello again to Joyce and a very warm welcome and nice meeting you, Nam, for the first time as well. So
Hi,
hope
Sir
to see you
Anne. Good
in other
afternoon.
events as well.
Good afternoon,
Hi,
Sir
sir.
Anne.
So, I think your screen is up, sir. And if you're ready, we'll see you after 20 minutes. Good luck,
All
sir,
right.
and have fun.
Good luck,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Joyce and Nam, and also from the Jobs 180 team. And also, I wanted to say a very warm welcome as well for all of our graduating students from Jose Rizal University, Mandaluyong, to all the faculty and administrators that's joining us. So for today's talk, I was given the topic expectations for a virtual interview, and having listened to some of the sections from Patrick's presentation earlier, I very glad to see that it's not a repeat of the tips that he shared with everyone, but is actually a refinement of that, and we'll go through it in a little bit. So some of you might not be familiar with Ernst and Young. So Ernst and Young, or EY for short, is one of the top 4 global services for accounting and consulting. So this is one of the top 4 professional services firms in the world, part of the groups that come across. And here locally in the Philippines, we have our local partnership with a local firm, SGV. So some of you might be more familiar with our local firm company, SGV and Incorporated and company, right? So in a nutshell, EY really has been making a lot of improvements and developments in the fields of assurance, tax, and consulting. So much so that for the past years we've been consistently cited as Universum's world's most attractive employer. And we've also been winning some of the local recognition awards locally, like LinkedIn's Top Company for the Year and also the world's best workplace, right? But aside from that, I think what really speaks to EY and specifically the company that I'm part of, Global Delivery Services, is really the footprint. So, most of you, when you join us, and if you would like to explore whether it be for a full time position or for some of our internship positions in tax, in assurance, and even in consulting in the upcoming months, right? You'll see that you're actually joining a firm that is over 55,000 employees strong. And in the Philippines in particular, and this is, a very big accomplishment on our part, we've grown by leaps and bounds over the course of the past 2 years. Now that a lot of the restrictions from the pandemic have been lifted, we're only looking to really grow even more. And that's why we're looking and hoping that some of you, especially those that are graduating or even those that are about to go into your internships, would consider joining EYGDS. Now, for today's talk, and this is a question I wanted to pose for everyone, right? So, when you're preparing yourself for your virtual interviews or your mock interviews for that, right? What's going to be more important, right? Is it the skill set, your work experience, or related work experience, or is it going to be a mindset? And oftentimes, a lot of companies would usually arrange or organize their talent strategy around the answer to that. And if some of you are, still wondering, my personal experience has been, mindset trumps skill set. And this is because in my personal journey, right? And some of it was shared by our host earlier. Straight out from college, I did a year of volunteer work with Jesuit Volunteers Philippines. And then I went into the academe for a year and 10 months as a guidance counselor in Ateneo de Manila University. And after that, that's when I actually shifted into the corporate world, going into BPO companies, shared services. And then finally now, and spending around 7th year. I'm celebrating my 7th year with EYGDS Philippines this coming December. So looking at that, you'll see that there's really a variety of industries I went through, right? Nonprofit NGOs with JVP, academe, corporate, BPO, and then now shared services. And all throughout that, what's really helped me to be successful and get to where I am now is really the mindset there. And that's one thing that I'd like each and every one of you to think about when you're preparing for those mock interviews. And like what the previous speaker talked about, right? Some of you and also some of the questions that were raised during the open forum earlier is how do I showcase my best? And I think this is where um, hopefully the three tips that I'll be sharing to each and every one of you will be helpful. So for those that may not be familiar, right, and looking at the tips that I have, so these are the top three tips that I have to prepare for these interviews, whether it be virtual interviews or even face-to-face interviews. And we'll talk about the difference between those two and the preparations for those two in a little bit. So what are the three? So first one is know your purpose. What is it that you want? To quote the Nescafe commercial, right? Para saan or para kanino ka ba bumabangon? Right? And that's going to be very, very important. Increasingly, a lot of global companies, EY included, have been looking at our interviewees and how clear are they in terms of their purpose? What is it that they'd like to achieve, right? So that's the tip number one. Second one is evaluate your current skill sets. And here, I'll share a very, very important concept about transferable and non-transferable skill set. And this is very, very important because knowing the difference between transferable skills and non-transferable skills will help you gain more confidence that when you think I'm a new graduate, I've been in university, I've been in school for so long, diba? Some of you like 18 years, 19 years, or whatever the case may be, right? From grade school all the way to college. But all throughout that time, you may not be aware of it, but you are actually building up and learning some very important skills. And we'll talk about that in the second tip. What's the last one? When you look at companies, right, that you're applying for, whether it be EY or any of the companies that have been showcased during this virtual session, this session. One thing very, very important, and this will help you as well with your preparations, is look for companies that have strong and deeply rooted values. So aside from learning about, the job description, what's the list of, work that you're expected to do in that role, aside from, the history of the companies, take a look at what is it that they say that they value. What's their value proposition, right? Because oftentimes, and this is the same thing that we teach all of the certified interviewers in EY, is when companies like EY look at applicants or interviewees, we always look for two things. One is a good job fit, meaning they have the knowledge, they have the experience to do the job, but just as important is that, are they a good culture fit? And there's no better determinant of culture than a company's values, or what companies say this is what we value in our people, in the relationships that we build between our people and our clients, right? So those are the three tips. Now, going into the type of interviews, by and large, a lot of the companies utilize what we call behavioral interviewing. And a basic principle of this was also shared by Patrick earlier in his talk, right? The principle behind it is that the past behavior, what is it that you're used to doing, or ano yung kinalakihan mo, ano ba yung habit mo, right? And I think that's the simplest description for it. What are your habits? The habits that you've built up in the 18 years, 19, or whatever the case may be that you've been studying, these are the best indicator of how you're going to perform in any role, whether it be a staff role, whether it be a supervisor role, or even a manager role in the future, right? And studies throughout the decades, and behavioral interviewing is not new. It's been around since the 1980s. If some of you are interested in looking that up, right? But all throughout that time, it still continues to be the format of choice for a lot of companies, simply because there's a higher rate of success of using the answers that people get or give during behavioral interviews, and what is it that they're actually going to be doing when they actually get the job. And in fact, it's been found to be 55% more predictive of on the job performance or behaviors compared to traditional interviewing, where you're asking a set of questions and trying to figure out what is this person going to do, right? Now, what's the difference between behavioral interviewing and the usual interview, right? The very basic difference is that a lot of the focus is on ano na yung nagawa nyo? What is it have you done in the past? And this is where I think, some of you, unsurprisingly, and again, it's understandable that you're a bit, hesitant. Diba? I haven't worked pa nga eh. I've not done anything in the past, 18 years except study, diba? From grade school to high school to college, etc. Right? Some of you might have the opportunity because you have had some experience, whether it's working summers or, in fact, maybe for those that are even working students. So you have that added plus. But how about for those that don't have that work experience? And this is where we take a look at what behavioral interview is all about. So, one of the questions was, what are some of the things that interviewers check, diba? What disqualifies you, or what is minus points from their perspective? One is when they ask you behavior-based questions and then you answer theoretical. So what do I mean by that? So for example, right, um, I get asked a question, let's say, and I'm the interviewee. I get asked, has there been a time that I've managed a conflict between two team members in my team? And so yun yung question. Have I managed conflict between two team members of my team? So in this case, the best way for me to answer it is, there's that star method that was proposed by our earlier speaker, and here I'll share a even simpler tip. So just three things that you might want to arrange or organize your thoughts, diba? So one is situation. So in my case, I'll say to that question, well, there was a time that we had a project, and this was for the job fair for the company. And so I have two team members in my team, so three, including myself, and we were organizing. Now, what happened was one person in my team wanted to have like mga booths, interactive booths, right? And then the other one wanted to have talks. So we'll have, some of our senior leaders, maybe an external speaker come in and actually speak to people about what are their career options, right? So that's the situation. Now, what's the second piece? Behavior. And here, we're not looking at, and this is a good indicator of what some interviewers are looking for. They're not looking for, oh, ano yung nangyari sa situation na yon, meron bang ibang sumali, may iba bang pumasok, tumulong, ganon. But rather, their focus is, what did you, the person that they're asking the question to, what is it that you did? So in my case, the best way to prepare for it is talking about what I did. So in that case, I would say, okay, I told my two team members, both of your suggestions are very good. One is having some booths so that they have activities, fun, uh, you know, fun challenges to go through, right? At the same time, there's also merit in that having some of the leaders talk about their own journey, diba? So that people can learn, people can get inspired as to where they want to take their careers to, right? Now, after recognizing, I asked, is there a way for them to incorporate those with the job fair? Right. So that is the behavior that I did. And once they thought about that, so they were able to go past the disagreement. Right. And at that point, I'm actually now sharing what is the result. Diba? So very, very simple. Just describe the situation, what was happening, what were you supposed to do, right? So this is the situation and task of the STAR model that was shared earlier. But here, we simplify it to just situation, right? And then behavior. So make sure that when you're answering these questions, think about and position it, what is it that you did? What is it that you said? Right? Because the more that you do, oh, well, actually, the group, diba? Or I had my other team members come in and talk to these two people, the less the interviewer will know more about you. Because what you're describing and what you're sharing is what other people did. Hindi yung ano yung ginawa mo. That's why when you are asked these types of questions, especially with that, yung usual na starting phrase, can you tell me about the time, or can you share a situation wherein you did this, right? Those are indicators that the question being asked is a behavioral interviewing question, right? So again, very, very simple: situation, behavior, and result, right? Now, what else can you do? And this is where I'll now go into the three tips, right? Preparation is very, very important. That's why when you're preparing for those virtual interviews, and this is very important, a lot of companies, EY included, continue to hold virtual interviews, and this may be for the whole length of initial interview all the way to what you call this, to the final interview, right? And simply because some of the companies like EY, because we are a global firm, and like what the map that I shared earlier, we have almost 55 or more than 55,000 employees across different locations, whether it be in Europe, in Asia, or even in the Americas region, right? And because of that, virtual interview still continues to be the medium of our choice. Now, does that mean that the work that you're going to be doing is also going to be virtual? So that's where I think a lot of companies, EY included, have been differing. So even though the interviews are being conducted virtually, when you now start the work, you also need to do your research, or maybe even ask a question of your interviewer. What's your current work policy? Is it 100% of time in office, or is it some of the time in office? So to share, EY GDS Philippines, currently we follow an RTO schedule of 2 days a week. So it will change, or it will differ depending on what your client deliverables are. But the expectation is at least for all of our employees to be in the office for 2 times of a week. Right now, going into that first step, knowing your purpose, and this is very important, right? So some of you might already have this readily available about what do you see for yourself doing in 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, and even 10 years. Now, the next two, and this is very, very interesting to know, right? What do you enjoy doing? Oftentimes, when people, and some of you might be in that situation, diba? You don't necessarily know what you want to do, diba? Ano yung parang end goal mo for yourself, eh? But if you're able to answer, what is it that you enjoy doing? Like in my case, I enjoy doing tabletop gaming, like Dungeons and Dragons, board games. But I also enjoy digital gaming, like for the past 2 years now, I've been playing the gaming accounts of my two kids. I have two kids, 14-year-old daughter and an 8-year-old son of their Genshin Impact. Yeah, diba? So I enjoy doing that, but that's also indicative of what my purpose is. All right, because I'm very, very curious about different technologies, gaming technologies, and how do I incorporate that now with my work. Right, so those are some of the things that you might want to prepare for, because it might come up during your actual interview. Right, now, what are other questions that you can ask yourself? And this is something that, even from an EY perspective, we do try to seek out and ask from the applicants and also interns that go through with us, right? Like, how can you learn more in less time? Right? Is there a particular technique, or even have you read up about it? Right? And another thing that's very, very important, and this is a lesson learned by EY during the pandemic period, is how do we ensure that the people that we ask or invite to join EY, how can we ensure that they're flexible or agile? And this is where we go back to that first initial question I posed. Diba? What's more important? Is it mindset or skill set? Skill sets over time can change. Meron mga technologies na mawawala, hindi na magagamit. But the mindset, making sure that you have the proper mindset that, oh, it's important for me to work, but it's also important for me to keep myself flexible, agile. And agile, in a sense or in a nutshell, really is how do you prepare for changes in the future? Diba? How quickly can we adapt to new technologies? And this is going to be important for the next step, right? So our next step was evaluate your skill set. So how do you now prepare? So the three things, right? So know your purpose, find out or prepare, so that when you get asked that question, you have something to share, right? And also those additional questions I also had. When we talk about skill set, it's always important to remember that there's two types of skill set that we learn as you progress through the next few years, decades of your career, right? There are some that are called non-transferable. So these are the technical specific, like yung specific system nila for time in, time out, or maybe even yung email setup that they have, right? Those are technical knowledge that's specific to your field or industry or even company, right? Now, what's transferable? And here, you'll see some things that, you might think, oh, paano naging transferable in project management? And this is where the best tip I can give for everyone is that if you don't have work-related experience, look to your own personal experience. What's an example? So, for the past year, since we've been seeing progressively looser and lesser restrictions on the movement, some of you might have had your family gatherings, yung mga reunions ninyo, right? That in itself is a project. So what is it that you did? Maybe you have a very big extended family of like maybe 30 family members across Philippines and even US. So now you had to organize where's the place that you're going to have your reunion. The invitations, will the people from the US or your relatives from the US, will they have time? And when is it that they should travel so that they can be here in the Philippines for that reunion? What's the program? Anong gagawin natin? Is there a surprise? What is it that we're celebrating? All of those are components of managing a project. And when you talk about those questions, about maybe the initial question from the interview, can you tell me about the time that you manage a big project? So baka yung initial, reaction mo is, ay, wala pa akong work eh. I've not worked eh. But if you look at it from this perspective, project management, community building. What's community building? Again, reaching out to your family members, some maybe that you've never talked to before. How do you break the ice? How do you reach out to them? That's community building. Networking, same thing, diba? O maybe for that big family reunion, you have to get like several suppliers for food, for entertainment. You have one that you wanted may digital stage kayo, right? That's networking, right? So again, every opportunity that you've had from your grade school years to your high school years, even the past years that you've spent in university are filled with skills that you've picked up. The only question is, are you able to identify and are you able to categorize them? That's why think about those experiences, situation, behavior, and then impact. So that way you have ready responses for some of these questions, right? And again, last one here, digital tools. Diba? A lot of you might have been playing around with some digital tools already, like AI. Ayan. So Chat GPT, that is a very desirable skill set in the workplace nowadays. So even though if you were using it for for personal queries, right? Like, oh, how do I ensure that the person that I'm, courting or yung nililigawan ko will say yes? Maybe that's something that you ask in Chat GPT. But the thought process they have to go through it, how you're able to process the answers, those are transferable skills, right? And that's very, very important. And that's why the goal for you as you go into the workplace is always increase whenever possible your transferable skills, because regardless of what company or what role you go into, madadala mo yan. And that's what's made me successful where I am, because everything like my community building, conflict management, even the facilitation skills, like how am I able to engage digital audiences or even face-to-face audiences, those were picked up in various scenarios or various venues. But as I moved from company to company, diba, from NGO to academe to corporate scene, I was able to bring all of those transferable skills. Right now, what's the last one? And this is where you can now also again fine tune your preparation. So when we talk about deeply rooted values, the tendency for most companies, EY included, is to continue to make decisions based out of those values. Right. So that's why learning what is the values of a company is also very important, because more likely than not, it's going to come up during the interview. And I'll go to that in a little bit, right? And make sure that you check, have there been personal circumstances that you've shown this? Because, like what I mentioned earlier, two things companies look for: good job fit. Do they have the experience, knowledge? And are they a good culture fit? Do they have the right mindset? Do they have right behaviors that will benefit the company and the teams and the people that this person will work with? That is why this is important. Now, what's the last one? And so prepare the list of experience that you have that mirrors those values. So, for example, EY has three basic values, and all of these values are based off of people who demonstrate integrity, respect, teaming, and inclusiveness. So, how do you welcome other people? How do you reach out to individuals that are coming maybe from different backgrounds, different experiences, and how do you make them feel welcome? Yeah. So, that could be something that our interviewers may ask you, right? And same thing, energy, enthusiasm, and having the courage to lead. So again, some of these you might have already had experiences like courage to lead. So maybe you have this terror professor that a lot of people when they went into the class, they already knew ay bawal magtanong. But then maybe you're noticing and you yourself you were having difficulty learning or understanding that subject. But despite your fear na pagalitan ka ng professor mo, you went ahead and actually asked the question, and you made it understood to the professor that the reason why you asked is because you were having a hard time, diba? And you wanted to make sure that you have a high grade, right? So again, that's having the courage to lead, even in a non-work environment. And that's why, for example, for EY, because as you can see here, the focus is and has and will always be people, because the core of our business is really people development, right? The only reason why we're able to progress and develop our relationships with our clients is because of the caliber and quality of our people. That's why for EY, we have a lot of programs that are really focused on people. And I'm very, very proud to say, and although some of you might not want to hear it because yun nga, di ba, pag-graduate pa lang kayo eh. Ayun yun ang, some of you might not be in the mindset na, ay, gusto ko pa mag-aral eh. But again, some of you might be interested in pursuing higher degree programs. So we have programs all the way, and this is available for everyone, whether you're from tax, consulting, or even assurance, right? So we have courses about data strategy for those individuals that are, again, looking to go up the corporate ladder in terms of leadership. They want to be a team leader, they want to be a supervisor, they want to be a manager. We have these leadership courses that are available as well. And what's more is that each of these badges and courses that you complete with EY as you progress can ultimately help you to achieve a full-fledged master's degree program. And this is very, very important because EY is one of the first amongst the global four firms that offered full-fledged and fully funded. So what does this mean? If, let's say, for example, and we will be welcoming a new batch of new hires come next week, the 22nd, right? So for those individuals that are joining EYGDS Philippines next week, they can actually go ahead and start pursuing a full-fledged master's degree. And we have three that are currently uh, ongoing for all EY staff, regardless of tenure, regardless of position, regardless of position. Right. So we have EY Tech MBA. So this is a full-fledged master's degree in business administration. We have an EY Masters in Business Analytics. And the last one, and this might be interesting for some of you, we have an EY Masters for Sustainability because the solutions that we offer to our clients should not just be working solutions. They also need to be sustainable solutions, right? And so in ending this, talk, I hope that the tips I was able to share with you, knowing your purpose, second is focusing on those transferable skills and looking to your own personal experience where you were able to pick up those skills are very, very important. Right? So we'd like to invite you. We have openings for accounting graduates, engineering, computer science, and even information system students. Right? We also have opportunities for some of you to join our audit staff, and also our accounting associates under our tax teams. Right? And of course, if you'd like to know more about what type of work does EY and EYGDS Philippines in particular are going through, you can access our Jobs 180 site, jobs180.com/EYGDS, and you can check out our EY career site at the link below where you can learn more about EY and the global positions that we offer. And for those of you that are in or going into your internship, we do have those available as well. So you can go ahead and register through that particular link. So thank you so much. And I'll be calling back Joyce and also Nam.
All right. So thank you so much, Sir Dennis. So to our audience, to Rizalian, so we are again opening the floor for questions. So if you have questions for Sir Dennis, ayan, so feel free to post your questions in the comment section. Okay. While waiting for a cue, sir, so I'll be asking a few questions na po muna. So your topic is about expectations about virtual interview, sir. Since JRU po will be having their virtual mock interview on August 2022, 2023, next week na po yan. So, ayan. So, yung mga questions, guys, na curious kayo, yan, gusto nyo malaman, ano ba bang i-expect nyo during your virtual mock interviews. So, no? So, now is the time to ask. Ayan, para at least well-prepared kayo pagdating ng interview next week. Okay. Next, for my first question, sir, Sir Dennis, the question is, how can I make a lasting impression in a virtual interview considering the limitations of not being physically present?
Ayan. So I think first off, we are very social animals, like all of us, right? That's why when you have virtual interviews, whenever possible, have your camera open, and that's where the interviewer will be able to see, diba? Are you passionate? Are you interested, diba? Are you someone showing interest dun sa work na position, right? I think those in itself are really differentiator amongst applicants, right? What's the other tip that I have for people so that you distinguish yourself? Talking about that purpose piece, if you're able to share ano ba yung gusto mong maabot sa buhay, 'di ba? And again, some of you you might not have that answer now, 'di ba? But at the very
Mhm.
least, 'di ba, if you think about it and be purposeful about, okay, what is it I want to accomplish in the next 3 years, 'di ba? I want to be certified, let's say for example, maybe on one tech platform, 'di ba? Uh, and when you're able to share your own personal purpose, 'di ba? Ano yung gusto mo maabot? And what are some of the steps that you've been taking to help achieve that purpose? That is going to leave a lasting impression. Kasi nga same way that each person is unique, 'di ba?
Yes.
Each person's purpose also differs from one person to the other. So being able to share that or having or looking for opportunities to insert that during your interview can help you distinguish yourself from other applicants.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. And in line my question. So another question, sir, is excuse me. So can you offer advice on how to convey enthusiasm and personality effectively, sir, in a virtual
Mhm.
interview set?
All right. So first off, again, speaking tone is very very important, and this is something I picked up as a language trainer as well in my previous organizations, diba? Be very conscious, for example, if you notice, diba, yung mga broadcasters sa TV, sa and even those that are communication graduates that are on the call, you notice that their speaking voice is actually different from their broadcaster's voice, and that's a tip there. If you want to be a little bit more what do you call this, um, more credible, lower your voice just by 1 octave. What's an example? This is my usual speaking voice. So yung usual speaking voice ko, it's a little bit higher pitch, di ba? Mabilis kasi ako magsalita, even from a personal perspective. So this is my speaking voice. Now, when I'm speaking for online events, when I'm facilitating sessions, if you notice, I drop my voice just 1 octave. Ayan. So that's one tip. What's another tip? Lean into the camera. Not so much na na talagang focus na okay, ilong na lang yung pwede mo makita eh. But the mere act of leaning in actually shows that you're interested. Same way, 'di ba, when you're talking with your friends, try to notice, 'di ba? When your friends are talking about something very very interesting, 'di ba? Lahat kayo naka-lean in, 'di ba? Versus if you notice one of your friends leaning back, ay, hindi na siya nakikinig, 'di ba? So those are some tips that, when you're on camera, you can show your energy, your enthusiasm, and again, show that personality.
Thank you, sir. Nakalin nakakuyakoy pa.
Yeah.
Parang magkatropa na lang kayo ng interviewer tsaka ng interviewer, sir. So, thank you, sir, for answering my question. So, we have questions here from the audience. So, let me up. Question from Ms. Sophia. So, the question is, how does the interviewer evaluate the interviewer's behavior po during the interview if the interview was held virtually?
All right. So again, I'll go back to the context of the behavioral interviewing, right? So there's always three things that they look for when they ask you a question. One, did you explain the situation that you were in clearly? Two, what was the behavior that you showed? Diba? And third, and this is where number two and number three are connected. Yung ginawa mo dun sa situation na yon, did it contribute to the end result? Right? What's an example? So let's say, you were asked and you use your thesis for those that have already completed their thesis, right? You were asked, oh, can you share to me a difficult situation wherein you had to work with a short deadline? So you share, oh, well, in our group, diba, we had our thesis and our thesis was, let's say, it's about addiction, and so the challenge there was we had to go to rehab centers. So again, we There were concerns about safety, but we had to finish our thesis in time. So you know what happened? Our group, when we went there, we made sure that none of us was alone. Let's say, diba? Yeah, there was always at least two people doing the interviews, or all three of us, right, or whatever the case may be. And when we were able to submit it, our professor commended us how we were able to complete everything. So notice, diba? There was a situation, there was a behavior, pero in the behavior, what was it I was using? We. Yung grupo namin. Ito yung ginawa namin. So that is something that interviewers are usually trained to listen to. And that's where you might have the interviewer following up with a question. So what is it that you did that was unique na hindi ginawa ng mga ibang team members mo? How much of the end result was because of yung gawa mo? Kasi baka, and again, all of us have had those experiences, 'di ba? Ako yung taga-type, right? Ako yung taga-type ng thesis namin. That's it. 'Di ba? Matrabaho siya, but then when you look at the end result, how much of that end result was because of your behavior? That is what interviewers look for.
All right. So thank you so much. Ayan, Miss Sophia. We hope Sir Dennis was able to answer your question. So another question, sir, from Miss Elizabeth Ilagan. So the question is, how can we identify or assess the best skills that we can put on our resumes?
All right. So I'll go to the third tip that I had earlier, 'di ba? What are the company's values, 'di ba? So you already have the job description, 'di ba? What is it that companies are looking for from skill set? So obviously that would go onto your resume. But when you take a look at the company's values, so let's say for example, maybe their value is value teaming, 'di ba? Teamwork. So that might be a good thing to highlight in your resume, 'di ba? So anong mga opportunities that you've had to get people together, work towards a common goal, whether it be work related or even maybe you had the position in your student organization. What were some of the activities that you're able to get people together and work towards a common goal? So putting those little tidbits in the resume, but more important than that is highlighting those in the interview. Kasi nga, sometimes, diba, from a resume perspective, people just look at, okay, how close or how far is this person's resume from the job that we want, 'di ba? But being able to put in some of those cultural indicators, 'di ba? Like ano yung behavior mo, ano ba yung mindset mo, anong klaseng tao ka ba in your resume can be highlights that later on interviewers will pick up as well.
All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you. So another question, sir, is for first time job seekers naman, sir, or first time doing interviews po via online or virtually. So what's the etiquette po for virtual interviews such as muting and muting using the chat function and handling interruptions?
Mm. So again, first off, make sure that you're in a quiet location. During the pandemic period, that was always the occupational hazard everyone had, diba? Yung mga tilaok ng manok, yung mga kapatid mo or whoever in your household asking for small things like water, oy, wala pang ulam or nasusunog na yung niluluto, gano'n. So again, being able to isolate a lot of those can help out a lot. And in my particular case, having a headset increases the ability for you to focus more on your voice and block out other extraneous noise. Diba? What's the next one? Using virtual backgrounds. So if you look at virtual backgrounds, try to play around. If you know what platform your virtual interviewers are going to use, try to see if you can access it personally, diba? Like have your brother or sister or whoever it is in your household, gawa ka ng Microsoft account. Gawa rin ako. Mag Microsoft Teams call tayo. So at least you can be familiar on the platform. And some of these platforms are readily available and have like a free subscription. Wala kang babayaran, right? What's the other thing? Again, In virtual interviews, if you notice, 'di ba, most of the focus is upper body lang. So I can actually go through the interview just you looking at my head. But if you notice all throughout the presentation, 'di ba, one thing that I always make sure of is, again, using your hands. So being able to introduce some of these, unusual elements. Kasi nga, not a lot of people see yung mga meetings paminsan that people show their hands. So again, those things can help you level up your virtual presence.
All right. Thank you, sir, again. So, while, ano, 'di ba, doing virtual meetings, may bumibili ng yelo.
Yes.
Bili ng yelo. Yung ka-meeting mo na yung sumasagot kasi hindi mo sinasagot yung ano, bumibili ng yelo sa labas. Anyway, we have another question, sir, from Miss Mia. So, since virtual interviews became prominent during the pandemic, and likely there would be questions about emergency related situations and work setup, how can we make sure that the interviewer also understands our priorities and needs without sounding like we're demanding? Wow,
All
good
right.
question.
Ayan. So good question. So first off, I go to tip number one ko kanina, knowing your purpose. When you're clear about what your purpose is, that helps out a lot because you're able to present it to your interviewer as this is what I'd like to achieve in life. And that is something that no one should invalidate. Diba? Ngayon, kung medyo minamaliit nila kung ano yung purpose mo, then again, that's a red flag for you already as an applicant. What's the next one? Asking questions. And this is very, very important, right? So, for example, if already early in the interview, you were already able to share a little bit about your purpose. Maybe your purpose is, I want to be able to help support my family. Let's say you have, four brothers and sisters that you'd like to be able to put through college, and you want to be able to do that, but not get bankrupt, 'di ba? Gusto mo makaipon ka pa rin, gusto mo progress ka pa rin. You're able to have time and, money put into your own education and development. So one of the follow-up questions I might have if that were my purpose later on is I ask the interviewer, "Can I ask you, are there certification opportunities sa company nyo? 'Di ba? Meron ba mga certification ako na possible na makukuha like what I was mentioning earlier? Yung master's degree, these are full-fledged master's degree and the all of the associated costs for the first one. Kasi nga, it's possible for people to get all three masters dito sa EY eh. Pero at least what EY has committed to, yung first master's degree that you earn, all of the costs are borne by EY. Wala kang babayaran. So again, that is something that speaks to that person's purpose. What else? What if you have, like, let's say for example, you have responsibilities. Maybe you have a relative with long-term illness that you need to be mindful of and that you need to cater. So think of questions that you can ask that again talk to the situation but doesn't put you in a bad light. So how would I ask that? So I would ask the interviewer, what's your terms about taking leaves, or how do you ensure that schedules are flexible, especially if there are emergency situations. So again, 'di ba, very professional sounding question, pero the answer I will get speaks directly to yung important situation ko, 'di ba? Paano kung kailangan dalhin sa hospital, or paano if my relative is not feeling well, or I need to do something as regular as maybe pick up their prescription from the what do you call this, yung sa butika, right? Will I have the flexibility to have maybe 1 or 2 hours to be able to do that, right?
All right. So thank you so much, Sir Dennis. And one last question, sir. So before we end, of course, the Rizalian will dress up for the interview. So your
Yes.
tips, sir, for virtual interviews, are there any specific considerations for clothing on cameras?
Mm. Ayan, best tip, make sure that you do a full dress up, because there have been, and I think a lot of you have seen those viral clips as well of those emergency situations. Nalaglag yung camera, nakita, or akala niya pinatay niya na yung camera, biglang tumayo siya, right? So again, make sure to dress up fully. Yan. So you might not have the opportunity to show off that, skirt or those slacks, but being, fully dressed. Again, there's that, there are those psychology studies about that, when people dress for success, it also impacts a lot in their mindset, diba? And also make sure that, given that we are still in El Nino season now, make sure that you're in a cool place as well. Like right now, I'm in the ground floor study of my home. We don't have any air conditioning here, but I have two fans that are directly nakatutok sa akin, diba? So those are
Keep
some of
us
the
in
tips in terms of the
lesson.
physical preparation.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for those tips. So that's it, sir. So we don't have ayan na, tama ba? Wala na pong questions from the audience. So thank you so much for answering all our questions, Sir Dennis. And thank you for sharing your time and your knowledge for today's session. And of course, we wish to have you again on our next set of webinars. So thank you so much, Sir Dennis. And to you guys, if you're interested to know more about EYGDS or you'd like to apply, and so you may visit www.thejobs180.com/EYGDS or yung run po na link sa inyong screen. And so thank you so much, Sir Dennis. Maraming salamat
Thank you
po.
so much,
Ingat.
Royce. Thank you, Nam. Have a
Thank you
great
po,
rest of
Sir
the week, everyone.
Dennis.
All right. Thank you, sir. So, before lang we end, Ms. Nam, so meron lang tayong reminders for the job seekers since yun nga, next week na ang inyong virtual mock interviews. So, ang mangyayari, so expectation nyo sa inyong virtual mock interviews ay Zoom ang magiging platform natin. So, once you enter the Zoom, so you have to rename your Zoom name, of course, for easier identification. And of course, we advise you to please wait in the main room to be randomly assigned sa mga companies. So each companies po will have their own breakout room. So once you're done with the interviews, you should return to the main room, and after or at the end of the session, everyone will return to the main room. So and then we will a moderator will be assigned to move you to another room to fill out the eval or attendance link to secure your attendance. So that's basically yung mangyayari sa inyong virtual mock interview. Okay? Ayan.
Ayan, guys.
Kaya yan. Virtual mock interviews para you guys prepare na, diba?
Yeah.
Okay. Ayan. So, there you have it, guys. So, we are done. And we are done with the talk proper and successfully tackled all the topics assigned for today's session. So please also do not forget to evaluate this event. So we will be flashing the link on your screen, and it will be also available at the comment section. Checking if
Yeah.
it's up. Ayan. So there. Okay. So again, so please kindly fill out the eval. So this will serve as your attendance for today's session. Again, okay. So the eval will serve as your attendance for today's session. So kindly scan the QR or fill out the link. Available po siya sa comment section. Also, you can also get your certificate of participation. So for participating in this event, you will get a certificate. So you also have to scan lang the QR or click nyo yung link. Available din po siya sa comment section.
Ayan, yung
Okay,
QR. Scan nyo
and
lang po.
yes, scan lang. And to our audience, again, thank you so much, JRU, for staying. We hope you learned and enjoyed the session. And if you still have questions, guys, you may send us a message sa aming facebook.com/jobs180.com. Partner?
Yun. So, again and again and again, we would like to thank JRU and especially Miss Neango for collaborating with Jobs 180. So, we hope that this webinar helps you be prepared in the world of work. So, I hope ready na kayo, di ba? Yan. Miss Joyce?
Ayan. Yes, thank you so much, Miss Nam. So, sa haba ba naman ng session na to, so we hope, ayan, may natutunan kayo and ready na kayo for your virtual mock interviews. And of course, please watch out for the next set of webinars we are going to host for. And please check our Facebook page for the topics that will be discussed. And you are welcome, guys, to join in on those sessions too. And if you think you missed this session, you may visit our Facebook and YouTube page for the recorded videos. Okay, so the program is finally concluded. This is your host, Joyce Katakutan.
And this is Nam Maranan.
All right, so we will see you soon and have a great afternoon. Ingat everyone. Thank you so much.
Hi! Welcome to Manulife IT Delivery Centres Asia, or MIT-DC. This is also MIT-DC. This is a MIT-DC office. We'll get to meet each other either here or virtually. They are MIT-DC, and they're MIT-DC. They're MIT-DC. He's also MIT-DC. They like to pair program. You'll be working with them and with other people across Asia, Canada and North America as part of Manulife, a leading global financial services provider. Today, I'd like to introduce our high-performing team engagement framework. It is key to ensuring that MIT-DC is an enjoyable, rewarding and productive place to work. The framework is made up of 5 key elements. 1. A psychologically safe, accountable and productive environment, powered by Kaizen. 2. Management accountability, leaders listening and taking action on your feedback. 3. Shared values and a strategic understanding of our purpose in the company. 4. The employee needs hierarchy that ensures that you not only have what you need to do your work, but also recognition, a happy team dynamic, and individual growth. And finally, 5. Our engagement pulse check, or the Gallup survey, whose 36 questions ask, are our people leaders living up to their commitments? Let's go into each in a little more detail. A psychologically safe environment means that MIT-DC fosters an open workplace that encourages feedback. We express our ideas. We ask and give help. We act with integrity and learn from our mistakes. Kaizen is our methodology for this. Management accountability means that company leaders will listen, confirm, and action feedback at both an individual team and mid-DC wide level. Through Gallup, employee focus groups, town halls, retrospectives, and the daily performance dialogue. We're here to listen. We're here to act. It's important to have a strategic understanding of our purpose in the company. Our shared Manulife values were co-created with employees globally. Our values guide how we do our work. The employee needs hierarchy ensures that not only are basic needs met, but also individual recognition, a happy team dynamic, and personal growth opportunities. These are part of your needs that Manulife passionately works on with you every day. And lastly, we have the Engagement Pulse Check, or Gallup poll, whose 36 questions are directly linked to our framework. And, as always, you can give us open feedback too. This allows us to improve and action at both an individual and collective team level. The format follows an agreement scale that goes from strongly agree to strongly disagree. The result is a measure of our engagement relative to other teams and the industry. So that's our high-performing team engagement framework in a nutshell. We're quite excited to hear from you. Until then, remember, we're getting better every day. Bye!
Intelligence is the foundation of any good business. But if every good business has it, how do you stand out? Intuition. When enabled by technology, intuition stops feeling like a hunch and starts looking like confidence. The confidence you get when you work with Cognizant, where we engineer every aspect of your business, technology, processes, and experiences to anticipate expectations and act instantly. This is intuition, and we can engineer it.